Chapter 8:13. It was a sudden cry for help. This caused Wang Mang to be shocked. Then, Wang Mang looked over. In the distance, the ancestral dragon was fleeing in all directions in fear. A prodigy from the Summit Alliance was hunting down other prodigies in a frenzy. Ancestral Gragon and Li Qinglian were not the only ones. Many other prodigies were fleeing in a frenzy. Unfortunately, the barrier here was too small. There was no way they could escape from the Summit Alliance's hunt. Therefore, prodigies died one after another and were devoured by the Summit Alliance's prodigies. Wang Mang's heart sank when he saw this. He pretended not to know anything. He could not even take care of himself. How could he save Ancestral Gragon? Therefore, Wang Mang collected his thoughts and looked at the green-robed prodigy not far away. Qilin's fury. Wang Mang had just looked at the green-robed prodigy when he saw a terrifying fire Qilin that covered the sky charging towards him. Moreover, as he stepped into the air, the terrifying heat seemed to be able to burn everything. Even the power of laws in heaven and earth was ignited. Then, the fire Qilin charged in front of Wang Mang. It raised its two front legs high and stomped towards Wang Mang's head. Bang! It was accompanied by an earth-shattering sound. The ancient Buddha that Wang Mang had formed was instantly destroyed by the fire Qilin. At the same time, the fire Qilin's huge front legs continued to stomp towards him. Wang Mang's face was as pale as snow. He was in an extremely sorry state. He gathered the power of laws in his fists and punched towards one of the fire Qilin's legs. Get lost! It was accompanied by a loud, muffled sound. Wang Mang's fists instantly landed on the fire Qilin's legs. However, even though Wang Mang had used all his strength, his entire body was still sent flying. Obviously, even if he did not hold back, he was still no match for the fire Qilin that was formed by the power of laws. Just as he steadied his sorry figure, Wang Mang saw the fire Qilin running toward him with its mouth wide open. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang transformed into a huge python. He opened his bloody mouth and roared, charging forward as well. In the next moment, the two behemoths collided. Wang Mang began tearing at the fire Qilin. Although this fire Qilin was condensed from a nomological divine ability, it was vivid and lifelike with flesh and blood. As a result, Wang Mang was in a miserable state after being bitten by the other party. His entire body was scorched black by the fire Qilin. This was because this fire Qilin that was condensed from the power of laws clearly contained extremely profound laws of fire. Of course, even though he was in an incomparably miserable state and had been suppressed the entire time, he still managed to obtain the upper hand. However, Wang Mang did fight back, but he was no match for this beast. Helpless, Wang Mang tore at the fire Qilin for a while. Wang Mang immediately withdrew himself and chose to engage in a dogfight, because he really did not dare to fight with this fire Qilin. He could not gain any advantage at all. However, Wang Mang could understand. After all, this was condensed from the power of laws of a top, great divine ability. If he could gain the upper hand, his strength would be enough to fight against the ninth heaven divine emperor. At the same time, when the green-robed prodigy saw this scene, his face became extremely gloomy. Then, he glanced at the other prodigies and realized that the number of prodigies in the enchantment was decreasing rapidly. This also caused him to only have two choices. He could continue hunting Wang Mang, but it would definitely take a long time. He might even suffer a loss. Or he could give up hunting Wang Mang and hunt other prodigies first before dealing with this tough bone. After thinking for a moment, the green-robed prodigy made a decision. He decided to give up hunting Wang Mang. It would not be good for him to continue dragging this out. With that thought, the green-robed prodigy waved his hand and retracted his divine ability. Then, the terrifying fire Qilin gave up hunting Wang Mang and rushed back into his body. "Kid, you got lucky." After saying that, the green-robed prodigy ignored Wang Mang and rushed towards the group of prodigies. Seeing this, Wang Mang was stunned at first. Then, he could not help but secretly heave a sigh of relief. At the same time, Wang Mang could not help but look around the enchantment. However, the scene in front of him made his heart heavier. Now, there were only over 50 prodigies left in the enchantment. In other words, in just a short period of time, almost half of the prodigies had died tragically. At this moment, Wang Mang heard an angry roar. "You want to kill me? Impossible." Hearing this, Wang Mang looked sideways and saw that Ancestor Gragon, who was originally running away, had his strength increased to the 9th Heaven Divine Emperor. At the same time, Ancestor Gragon immediately turned around and fought with the prodigies of the Summit Alliance. Seeing this, Wang Mang took in a breath of cold air. He did not expect Ancestor Gragon to use a technique to forcefully increase his strength again. This time, Ancestor Gragon really suffered a huge loss. This guy was completely ruined. Once his strength decreased greatly, one could imagine Ancestor Gragon's outcome. He could not even leave the path of conquering all heavens. That was because only powerful prodigies could retreat after failing to conquer the path of conquering all heavens. However, if they were weak, they would be trapped in the city and die. Even the chance to leave the path of conquering all heavens depended on whether the heavens would give them the chance to do so. At this moment, Ancestor Gragon could not help but look at Wang Mang. Then, he continued to fight crazily. However, Wang Mang saw the immense killing intent and hatred in Ancestor Gragon's eyes. Wang Mang naturally guessed why Ancestor Gragon had such a strong killing intent towards him. Obviously, he did not care about Ancestor Gragon's cry for help earlier. This also caused Ancestor Gragon to have no choice but to forcefully increase his strength. If he did not forcefully increase his strength, he would definitely die. The prodigies of the Summit Alliance who were at the 9th heaven of the Emperor God realm would not pity an ant. At this moment, something unexpected happened to Wang Mang, the prodigy of the Summit Alliance who was fighting with Ancestor Gragon. He seemed to know that Ancestor Gragon had used a technique to forcefully increase his strength. Therefore, he retreated quickly. Obviously, he did not want to continue fighting with Ancestor Gragon. After all, if they continued fighting, all the prodigies would be killed. After the prodigy of the Summit Alliance retreated, the furious Ancestor Gragon did not continue to attack. This more or less surprised Wang Mang. However, at the next moment, Wang Mang was dumbfounded. Ancestor Gragon immediately changed his direction. His face was filled with cold, killing intent as he charged towards Wang Mang. "Go to hell for me." Ancestor Gragon roared furiously as he transformed into a black dragon and pounced over with his mouth wide open. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang's eyes immediately widened. He was simply shocked. What the F***CK? What's going on? Is Ancestor Gragon crazy? Does he want to kill me too? He quickly retreated and dodged. He did not dare to fight with Ancestor Gragon. After dodging Ancestor Gragon's mouth, Wang Mang shouted anxiously, "Brother Ancestor Gragon, calm down. I'm your brother, Wang Mang." Chapter 8:14. After hearing Wang Mang's words, Ancestral Gragon said ferociously, "Yes, I'm going to kill you. I'll lend you my mask out of kindness, but you ignored me. If it weren't for you, how could I be forced to increase my strength again?" Ancestral Gragon's tone was full of anger. Obviously, he hated Wang Mang very much. Hearing this, Wang Mang's face was filled with helplessness. "Brother Ancestral Gragon, I couldn't even protect myself just now. How could I save you? If I could save you, would I leave you in the lurch?" After hearing Wang Mang's words, Ancestral Gragon was so angry that he laughed. "Is this the reason why you left me in the lurch?" Wang Mang instantly felt extremely embarrassed when he heard this. He said helplessly, "Brother Ancestral Gragon, since you've already increased your strength, why don't you kill a few more geniuses to reduce your losses? Besides, it's not that I didn't want to save you, but I really couldn't protect myself just now." After hearing Wang Mang's words, Ancestral Gragon's expression was uncertain, but after thinking for a while, he made a decision. He knew that it was too difficult to kill Wang Mang. Moreover, Wang Mang didn't save him just now, which indeed made him angry, but he really couldn't leave. Thinking of that, the furious Ancestral Gragon looked coldly at Wang Mang, then looked at Li Qinglian. The next moment, ancestral Gragon flew towards Li Qinglian and began to look for the weak point of the space. As for Wang Mang, he had completely given up on him. He didn't need such a selfish ally. At that moment, ancestral Gragon suddenly attacked with all his strength. He gathered the power of law and bombarded the weak point of the bounded domain. Then, the entire bounded domain was blasted open by him, and a hole the size of a dog hole appeared. At the same time, Li Qinglian immediately seized the opportunity and turned into a stream of light, rushing out of the bounded domain. Seeing that, Wang Mang was also ready to seize the opportunity and instantly turned into a stream of light, flying towards the hole in the bounded domain. However, just as Wang Mang was about to escape, ancestral Gragon sneered and immediately stood in front of him. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang instantly stopped his tracks and asked anxiously, "Brother Ancestral Dragon, what are you doing?" Hearing that, ancestral Gragon said coldly, "Take out my mask, and I'll let you leave." Unfortunately, ancestral Gragon's words were not acknowledged by Wang Mang. This was because Wang Mang could see the killing intent in ancestral Gragon's eyes. Perhaps even if he gave the other party the mask, the other party wouldn't let him leave. The most likely outcome was to drag him down with them. Thinking of this, Wang Mang said helplessly, "Fellow Taoist ancestral dragon, after you let me leave, I will naturally return the mask to you. If I wanted to steal your mask, I would have done a long time ago. Why wait until now?" But hearing that, ancestral Gragon said with an indifferent expression, "Don't talk nonsense with this seat. Give it to me." Wang Mang's face instantly darkened. "Looks like you're going to fall out with me, brother. You don't want me to leave." Ancestral Gragon sneered coldly. "You'll never wake up a selfish dog." After saying that, ancestral Gragon charged towards Wang Mang again and slapped a few palms at Wang Mang. One after another, terrifying giant palms of laws blasted toward Wang Mang. Wang Mang was immediately enraged when he saw this scene. He finally saw through it. Not only did ancestral Gragon not want him to leave, he even wanted to force him to forcefully increase his strength. But although Wang Mang was furious, he didn't choose to fight head-on. At the same time, the killing intent in Wang Mang's heart grew stronger. The current Wang Mang already had a chance to kill ancestral Gragon, because ancestral Gragon could only increase his strength to the 9th heaven of Emperor God. But if he wanted to continue increasing his strength to the extreme realm, it was impossible. Similarly, even if Wang Mang's wrath of gods and demons wanted to increase his strength, he could only increase his strength to the 9th heaven of Emperor God, because after the 9th heaven of Emperor God, it was the 9th heaven extreme realm. The 9th heaven extreme realm could no longer be increased by any external means, because an extreme realm represented a small realm. Even though this was just an illusory small realm, it couldn't be increased at all. In other words, his wrath of gods and demons could only be used at rank 5. Similarly, ancestral Gragon's method of forcefully increasing his strength was the same. But the problem was the extreme realm strength didn't belong to rank 5 anymore. Therefore, Wang Mang's forceful increase in strength was useless, unless he advanced his wrath of gods and demons to rank 6. Because of that, after ancestral Gragon forcefully increased his strength for the second time, Wang Mang said that ancestral Gragon was already crippled, because the 9th heaven extreme realm strength. Everyone had to rely on themselves and couldn't rely on external objects. So, after forcefully increasing his strength this time, ancestral Gragon's strength would plummet again. After falling by a few small realms, if ancestral Gragon wasn't destroyed, what was? Seeing Wang Mang constantly dodging, ancestral Gragon sneered. "Why? Do you only know how to dodge now? Since you don't want to forcefully increase your strength, I'll force you to use it." After saying that, ancestral Gragon chased after Wang Mang and crazily slapped out his law palms. Bang! 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 Terrifying palm after palm of law slammed into the terrifying barrier. Some of the escaping sky prides were even killed by ancestral Gragon's terrifying law palms. But Wang Mang was still dodging and didn't fight Ancestral Gregon head-on. This caused Ancestral Gregon to fly into a rage. But this made Wang Mang sullen. He couldn't help but say angrily, "Ancestral Gregon, do you really want to kill all of us?" Ancestral Gregon sneered, "What can you do to me? Just wait for your death. When the people from Summit Alliance kill all these Sky Prides, it'll be your turn." After hearing Ancestral Gregon's words, Wang Mang then turned his attention to the space boundary. He saw that there were only slightly more than 10 Sky Prides left out of the original 50. These Sky Prides were all at the peak of the 8th heaven of the Emperor God realm. Now, these Sky Prides were fighting with the Sky Prides from Summit Alliance. This was because they weren't a match for the Sky Pride from Summit Alliance. Moreover, in comparison, their battle powers were weaker than Wang Mang's. This was because Wang Mang was at least at the same level of battle power and was almost immune to their attacks. But they didn't have this ability. Naturally, they were being chased around by the Sky Prides from Summit Alliance. But according to Wang Mang's guess, these Sky Prides wouldn't be able to hold on for long, unless these legendary Sky Prides also had the means to forcefully increase their battle powers. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to escape death. At this moment, Wang Mang saw a Sky Prides at the 8th heaven of the Emperor God realm roaring furiously. "You want to kill me? That's simply wishful thinking." Just as he finished speaking, this Sky Prides at the 8th heaven of the Emperor God realm had his battle power increased to the peak of the 9th heaven of the Emperor God realm. Then, this raging Sky Prides immediately turned around and started fighting with the Sky Pride from Summit Alliance who were chasing after him. Other than that, another Sky Prides at the 8th heaven of the Emperor God realm also had the means to increase his battle power. Then, he instantly increased his battle power to the 9th heaven of the Emperor God realm and started fighting with the Sky Prides from Summit Alliance. Not long after, while Wang Mang was hiding from Ancestral Gregon, another Sky Prides roared furiously and forcefully increased his battle power. But this Sky Prides didn't fight after increasing his battle power. Instead, this Sky Prides charged towards the weak point of the barrier that Ancestral Gregon had created previously. He raised his hand and released a terrifying palm of laws, creating a huge hole in the spatial barrier. Then, he escaped from the spatial barrier. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang immediately grasped the opportunity. Without caring about anything else, he rushed forward with his fastest speed. Ancestral Gregon, who was chasing after Wang Mang, could clearly see that Wang Mang was trying to escape. Hence, Ancestral Gregon's face turned gloomy. He continuously attacked Wang Mang with his palms in an attempt to stop Wang Mang from escaping. Because if Wang Mang wanted to avoid the attacks, he definitely wouldn't be able to escape. But what Ancestral Gregon didn't expect was Wang Mang actually chose to take his attack head-on. Bang! Accompanied by a muffled, loud noise, the ground shook violently. The terrifying palm landed on Wang Mang's body. Wang Mang instantly flew out and spat out blood. At the same time, Wang Mang also seized the opportunity. He took the opportunity to escape from the spatial enchantment. Chapter 8:15. Seeing this, Ancestral Gregon was enraged. He roared, "Thief, don't leave. Give me your life." Then, Ancestral Gregon chased after him without hesitation. Seeing this scene, Li Qiye was shocked. The Peak Alliance's elites, not far away. They didn't chase after him. That was because the geniuses who were at the peak of the 8th sky of the Great God Realm were extremely strong. They hadn't killed him yet. Naturally, they couldn't care less about Wang Mang and Ancestral Gregon. At the same time, outside the enchantment, at this moment, Wang Mang was severely injured. There was blood at the corner of his mouth. His face was pale. When he heard Ancestral Gregon chasing after him, Wang Mang sneered. Then, he ran towards the city without looking back. Although he couldn't fight against Ancestral Gregon, who was 9th Heaven Emperor God. However, it was still easy for Wang Mang to escape. Because of this, Ancestral Gregon was furious. Every time he wanted to set up an enchantment. Unfortunately, before the enchantment was fully formed. However, Wang Mang had already blasted him away. Moreover, as Wang Mang was running away, in just a moment, Wang Mang successfully escaped into the city. After escaping into the city, Wang Mang, who was pale, smiled at Ancestral Graygon outside the city. Ancestral Graygon, I'll remember you. Let's see what you're going to do after the effect of forcefully increasing your strength. If you're capable, don't leave the city for the rest of your life. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead. After hearing Wang Mang's threatening words, Ancestral Graygon, who was standing outside the city, had an ugly expression. Li Qinglian, who was not far away, saw this scene and knew that it was bad. Obviously, she had guessed that Ancestral Graygon and Wang Mang had completely turned against each other. But the problem was that Ancestral Graygon had forcefully increased his strength. If he was targeted by Wang Mang, he would be finished. By then, Ancestral Graygon would definitely not be able to make a comeback. Thinking of this, Li Qinglian immediately went forward to persuade him. Brother Wang Mang, calm down first. Brother Ancestral Dragon was just too angry. Hearing this, Wang Mang sneered. If he could kill me, he would have killed me long ago, right? Is this a misunderstanding? Do you think I'm easy to bully, or am I stupid? After saying that, Wang Mang pointed at Ancestral Graygon again and said with a fierce expression, I am a man of my word. Ancestral Graygon, just wait for your death. I'd like to see how you're going to fight me after your strength has plummeted. Facing Wang Mang's vicious words, Ancestral Graygon was even more furious. At the same time, he was filled with regret. How could he form an alliance with such a shameless person? This was what it meant to meet the wrong person. Similarly, facing Wang Mang's aggressiveness, he was also helpless. This was because he knew that Wang Mang would definitely seek revenge for the smallest grievance. He would definitely not let the matter rest so easily. Now, not only did he not get the mask back, he even completely fell out with Wang Mang. Moreover, he was unable to force Wang Mang to increase his strength to fight with him. It was a huge loss. Thinking of this, Ancestral Graygon was so angry that his teeth itched. He wished he could eat Wang Mang's flesh and drink his blood. Unfortunately, it was too late. Ancestral Graygon had two things to do now. The first thing was to mend his relationship with Wang Mang. The second thing was to seize the opportunity to hunt down prodigies to reduce his losses. After taking a deep breath, Ancestral Graygon said coldly, I'll give you the mask, and we'll call it quits. How about that? Hearing this, Wang Mang, who was still talking tough, couldn't help but be stunned. Then, seeing that Ancestral Graygon didn't seem to be lying, Wang Mang thought for a while and was a little tempted. After falling out with Ancestral Graygon this time, he really didn't want to return the mask. However, there was a difference between taking it by force and Ancestral Graygon taking the initiative to give it to him. Moreover, after this time, Ancestral Graygon was no longer a threat to him. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's expression softened. He nodded slowly and said, Okay, for the sake of the mask, we'll call it quits. To be honest, Ancestral Graygon, I don't think I've done anything to let you down. In the previous situation, anyone would choose to protect themselves first. Now that you've hunted me down once, we'll call it quits. After speaking, Wang Mang walked to an open space not far from the city gate and sat cross-legged. Obviously, Wang Mang was waiting for time, waiting for the effect of Ancestral Graygon's forceful increase in strength to pass. This wasn't because Wang Mang wanted to go back on his words to kill Ancestral Graygon, but because he had to be vigilant. After the effect of Ancestral Graygon's forceful increase in strength passed, Wang Mang would leave the city again and find a place to cultivate in seclusion. This was because Wang Mang had also discovered that there was only a difference of one heaven. However, his role was as different as heaven and earth. A genius with the battle power of an 8th Heaven Emperor God would still be hunted. But a genius with the battle power of a 9th Heaven Emperor God would be a hunter. Because of this, Wang Mang had to cultivate in seclusion to increase his strength. In this way, he could also participate in the hunt of the geniuses outside the second city gate. It was even possible for him to kill all of these geniuses. Only these geniuses didn't have a physical body type divine ability that was comparable to the ancient demon overlord body. If that was the case, then Wang Mang would be able to slaughter those at the same level as him. At this moment, ancestral Gragon left the city gate again, since the conflict between him and Wang Mang had been resolved. He naturally had to take advantage of the time to hunt geniuses and minimize his losses. Now, as long as he could kill one more genius, he would reduce his losses. The more he killed, the smaller his losses would be. However, Wang Mang turned a blind eye to this. In the blink of an eye, 2 days passed. At this moment, 2 days had just passed. When Wang Mang opened his eyes, he saw ancestral Gragon, who had just returned from outside the city, covered in blood, and his aura was declining. Wang Mang sneered in his heart and ignored ancestral Gragon. He moved his body and flew out of the city. After flying out of the city, Wang Mang ignored the geniuses outside the second city gate and flew towards the great wilderness forest. He wanted to find a place to increase his strength and then kill all of these geniuses in one fell swoop. Not long after, Wang Mang found a hidden cave in the desolate forest. In the next moment, Wang Mang instantly set up a hidden space enchantment and plunged into the cave. After entering the cave, Wang Mang couldn't wait to read in his heart. System, open my personal information. In the next moment, his personal information appeared in front of his eyes. Wang Mang, disciple of sages to be, ancestor of demons. Type, ancient fiendish python. Limit 800 meters. Realm, 8th heaven of holy emperor, legendary genius. Body, health points, 28,000. Length, 740 meters. Width, 36 meters. Weight, 130 million tons. Top superpowers, ancient demon mighty body, perfection. Devour, perfection. 3 lives supreme Buddha, perfection. Wrath of gods and demons, perfection. Space, 1 bottle of forgotten love water. 1 falling saint pill. 1 6 flavor emperor pill. 1 god meteor cannon. 1 1-off rank 5 top bad luck card. 1 1-off rank 5 top good luck card. 2 celestial king treasure chests. 1 celestial king blind box. Equipment, top world multicolored stone X1. Divine martial sword. Immortal emperor mask. Holy emperor mask. Talent, for 61/1500. Energy, 48. 8 billion/150 billion. Chapter 816. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction. Unknowingly, he had accumulated close to 50 billion energy points. In addition, his accumulated talent points were at least 500. This made Wang Mang feel very gratified. There was no need to talk about this closed-door cultivation. The energy points for 1 evolution were set in stone. The energy points for 2 evolutions would depend on luck. Thinking of this, Wang Mang could not wait to say in his heart, System, use the top-notch stage 5 one-time good luck card. The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully used the top-notch stage 5 one-time good luck card. Ding. In the next 24 hours, the host's luck will vary from good luck to great luck. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang went into closed-door cultivation and waited for another 2 hours. After confirming that the top-notch stage 5 one-time good luck card had begun to take effect, only then did Wang Mang happily say, System, open the Immortal King treasure chest. The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully opened the Immortal King treasure chest. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained 10 billion energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained 15 billion energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained 20 billion energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained 25 billion energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained 30 billion energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained a low-level god-killing cannonball. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained a mid-level god-killing cannonball. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained a high-grade god-killing shell. Ding. Evolution conditions have been met. Do you wish to begin evolution? After listening to the system's announcement, Wang Mang was elated. Awesome. As expected of a top-notch good luck card, an immortal king grade treasure chest gave him 100 billion energy values. Now, he was only a few billion energy points away from evolving again. The problem was that he still had a Celestial King Grey blind box and a Celestial King Grey treasure chest. What if he was given another 200 billion energy points? For all he knew, he might be able to gather enough energy to evolve twice in a row. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately became excited. After that, Wang Mang once again silently said in his heart, "System, continue to open the Celestial King treasure chests." The next moment, the system's voice sounded again. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully opened the Celestial King treasure chest. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 20 billion energy points. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 30 billion energy values. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 40 billion energy points. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a wide-sleeved, flowing fairy dress. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a pleated blue fairy dress. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained a chainmail. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a Stage 5 Upper Innate Spirit Treasure. Scenic Chamber Pot. Ding! The accumulation has met the evolution conditions. Do you want to begin evolution? No. After listening to the system's announcement, Wang Mang felt a little regretful. This Celestial King grade treasure chest only gave him 80 billion energy values. This made Wang Mang somewhat disappointed. It wasn't even as good as the first Celestial King grade treasure chest. But after thinking about it, Wang Mang felt relieved. If it wasn't for the top-notch Stage 5 good luck card, Wang Mang estimated that he wouldn't even have 10 billion energy values. Fortunately, 80 billion energy values was quite a lot. Thinking of this, Wang Mang quickly adjusted his mentality and said in his heart again, "System, open the Celestial King grade blind box." If this Celestial King grade blind box also gave him 100 billion energy values, in Wang Mang's opinion, that should be enough for him to evolve twice in a row. In the next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully opened the Celestial King grade blind box. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 5 billion energy values. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang immediately thought to himself, "Not good. The first time he opened the lottery, he only got so little? Could it be that this Celestial King grade blind box was going to drop the chain at the critical moment again?" Thinking of this, Wang Mang suddenly lost his composure and even panicked. A minute later, the system's voice sounded for the second time, frowny-faced. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 10 billion energy values. After hearing the system's second announcement, the panic in Wang Mang's heart dissipated a lot. He could only pray in his heart that this blind box wouldn't be too much of a scam. Not long after, the system's voice sounded for the third time, frowny-faced. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 15 billion energy values. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang nodded to himself. If he continued to stack like this, it wouldn't be bad. At that time, the energy values he would obtain would probably not be less than 100 billion. Thinking of this, Wang Mang began to look forward to the next prize. Another minute later, the system's voice sounded for the fourth time. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 20 billion energy values. Not bad, not bad. Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction. The panic from before, when the prizes were announced, was completely swept away. After a while, the system's voice sounded for the fifth time, frowny-faced. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 25 billion. Yes, yes. Very powerful. Only 5 draws. Wang Meng's energy values had reached 75 billion. This was no longer lower than any of the Celestial King grade treasure chests above. This also meant that he had evolved twice in a row. Victory was in sight. Thinking of this, Wang Meng's mood was indescribably happy. This time, he should be able to evolve twice in a row. Under Wang Meng's happy mood, the system's voice sounded for the 6th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 30 billion energy values. Awesome. How satisfying. Hearing the system's 6th draw, Wang Meng was completely overjoyed. At this point, this Celestial King Gray Blind Box had already opened hundreds of billions of energy values. Moreover, there were still a few more draws. On average, it's a little too late. The 3 treasure chest blind boxes had accumulated close to 300 billion energy values, in addition to his own close to 50 billion energy values. Wang Meng's current accumulation had already reached close to 350 billion energy values. Even if he evolved again, he would still have 200 billion energy values left. In this way, Wang Meng felt that it should be easy for him to evolve. It could be said that Wang Meng's second evolution was already a done deal. Just as Wang Meng was in high spirits, the system's voice sounded for the 7th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained the rank 5 Supreme Version character summoning card, Majin Bu. Gentle reminder, after the character is summoned, it is unknown whether it is an enemy or a friend. Please use it with caution. After hearing the system's announcement, Wang Meng couldn't help but be confused. What the F***CK? Majin Bu? Which one was it in the cartoons in his previous life? Moreover, it was the rank 5 Supreme Version Majin Bu? Didn't this mean that he was going to summon this guy? He could directly break through the path of war in the myriad worlds. Chapter 817. However, after thinking about it, Wang Meng immediately shook his head. That conspicuous and warm reminder told him. After summoning it, he did not even know if it was an enemy or a friend. Furthermore, when Wang Meng watched this cartoon in his previous life, this guy simply killed indiscriminately, regardless of whether it was an enemy or a friend. If you were to really summon it, what if it killed him first? After thinking about it, Wang Meng gave up the idea of summoning this guy. He was mainly afraid that if it was summoned, it would be awkward for him as the summoner. At this moment, the system's voice sounded for the 8th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations to the host. You have successfully obtained a 5th stage Supreme Version character summoning card, Son of Devil. Warm reminder, after the character is summoned, it is unknown if it is an enemy or a friend. Please use it with caution. What the hell? What the hell? Another 5th stage Supreme Version character summoning card? To tell the truth, Wang Meng was really tempted. However, the problem was that he was not afraid of summoning it. He was afraid that it would become an enemy. It could be said that these 2 character summoning cards, Wang Meng simply felt that it was a pity to throw them away. If he encountered a terrifying enemy that he could not resist, it was more likely to summon these 2 guys. Right then, the system's voice sounded frowny face ding. Accumulate to meet the evolution conditions. Do you want to start the evolution? No. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Meng suddenly felt a little regretful. He knew that this meant that the Immortal King level blind box lottery had ended. He obtained close to 300 billion energy points. This was not bad. At this moment, the system's voice sounded again, frowny face ding. It has been detected that the host does not want to use it. 2 5th stage Supreme Version character summoning cards can be exchanged for energy points and talent points. Do you want to exchange? After hearing the system's voice, Wang Meng was stunned at first. After hesitating for a while, he nodded and said, "Exchange." The main reason was that these 2 5th stage Supreme Version character summoning cards had too many uncertainties. Rather than that, he might as well exchange them for energy points and talent points. These 2 extraordinary character summoning cards should be able to exchange for something good. The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny face ding. Congratulations to the host. Exchange successful. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 51. 2 billion energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 200 talent points. BF*CK. Awesome. To tell the truth, Wang Mang did not expect that the 2-tier 5 Supreme Character Summon cards he opened would be so valuable. 51. 2 billion energy values might not be a lot, but it was not a small amount either. What made Wang Mang most excited was an additional 200 points of talent. This was a huge amount of wealth. Who knew how long he would have to work hard and how many geniuses he would have to kill to obtain it? Killing a legendary Sky Pride only gave him 10 talent points. This was equivalent to killing 20 legendary geniuses. Awesome. Very satisfying. He was in a good mood. Only then did Wang Mang say happily, "System, evolve happily." The next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! 150 billion energy points have been successfully deducted. Beginning evolution. After that, Wang Mang completely lost consciousness. Half a month later, only then did Wang Mang slowly awaken from his evolution. When Wang Mang opened his eyes, it was as if space had stopped. The power of laws circulating around his body emitted a terrifying pressure. At the same time, as Wang Mang breathed, the power of laws flowed. Obviously, Wang Mang, whose strength had skyrocketed, was too powerful. At this moment, Wang Mang could clearly feel that his battle strength had reached the peak of the 9th heaven of the Emperor God realm. Yes, he had clearly broken through and evolved twice. Logically speaking, his battle strength should have surpassed that of a 9th heaven of the Emperor God realm. But in fact, it was only the battle strength of a 9th heaven of the Emperor God realm. This was because even after he had broken through, his original realm was only the 1st heaven of the Emperor God realm. His original realm was the 1st heaven. With the addition of the 4th heaven battle strength, his battle strength reached the 5th heaven of the Emperor God realm. The Supreme Mask added the 5th heaven battle strength. Logically speaking, his battle strength should be the 10th heaven of the Emperor God realm. Unfortunately, as his strength increased, the support of the Supreme Mask also weakened. This was not a problem with the Supreme Mask, but Wang Mang's own problem. He wanted to reach the battle strength of the 5th heaven of the Extreme realm. He had to rely on his own realm. He had to rely on the level of a genius. Even if Wang Mang evolved a few more times, his battle strength was still at the peak of the 9th heaven of the Emperor God realm. Only when his realm and the strength of a genius could he reach the 1st heaven of the Extreme realm without the support of the Supreme Mask and completely surpass the 9th heaven of the Emperor God realm. In other words, after he evolved 4 or 5 times, the Supreme Mask would lose its effect on him. At that time, he could leave the Supreme Mask behind or find a place to sell it for a good price. After all, the Supreme Mask was a treasure left behind by a 5th Heaven Supreme. It would definitely be worth a lot of money if he sold it. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was in a good mood. Not bad, not bad. Now, he already had the battle strength of a peak Emperor God realm. He no longer needed to hide in the city. In a good mood, Wang Mang muttered in his heart, "System, open my personal information," because now he had evolved twice in a row. Wang Mang also wanted to know how much energy value was needed for the next evolution. In the next moment, personal information appeared in front of him. Wang Mang, disciple of a quasi-sage, ancestor of myriad devil, type, ancient demonic python, limit 800 meters, realm. 1st heaven of the Emperor God realm, legendary genius, body shape, HP 30,000, length 760 meters, width 37 meters, weight 150 million tons. Top magical powers, ancient demon tyrant body, perfection, devouring god art, perfection, 3 lives supreme Buddha, mastery, wrath of the gods and devils, perfection. Space, 1 bottle of forgotten love water, 1, falling saint pill, 1/6 taste emperor pill, falling god cannon 3, 1-time rank 5 top bad luck card X1. Equipment, top world multicolored stone X1, divine martial sword, Immortal Emperor Mask, Saint Emperor Mask, Talent 661/1500. Energy value, 50 billion slash 250 billion. What a guy. 250 billion energy value for one evolution. This F asterisk king increased by 50 billion energy value again. At the thought of this, Wang Mang felt a sense of despair and his scalp went numb. He felt that if he did not have the top good luck card, basically, he would only be able to evolve once in a very long time. At the thought of this, Wang Mang felt very helpless. The more he evolved, the more difficult it was. Fortunately, his current strength was enough. For the time being, he did not need to urgently upgrade. Moreover, with his current strength, he was completely fearless. At the thought of this, Wang Mang could not help but feel high-spirited. A sense of confidence rose in his heart spontaneously. To put it simply, he was a little arrogant. What? Pinnacle Alliance? Suppress. Suppress all of them. What? Nightmare Alliance? Suppress. Suppress all of them. These little prodigies. Capture all of them and beat them up. Chapter 8:18. It wasn't that Wang Mang was being arrogant. It was that his strength had skyrocketed. The confidence that came with his strength. As the saying goes, money makes a man bold. When a man has money, he can straighten his back. That was the logic. Now he had the strength. Wang Mang was naturally unyielding. With that thought, Wang Mang couldn't help but be in a good mood. He couldn't wait to suppress these little bastards. Ancestral Gragon fell out with him when he was about to soar. It was simply a foolish act. After thinking for a while, Wang Mang stopped thinking about Ancestral Gragon. This guy simply didn't know how to appreciate kindness. At least in Wang Mang's opinion. He had a clear conscience towards Ancestral Gragon. It wasn't any worse than how he treated Dog Emperor and Dog Bear Emperor back then. In the end, this guy fell out with him? Obviously, this kind of person wasn't cut out to be brothers. They were all good brothers. So what if he suffered a little? Besides, was there need to draw such a clear line between brothers? After retracting his thoughts, Wang Mang instantly stood up slowly. After that, Wang Mang walked out of the cave. He couldn't wait to kill these geniuses. In the next moment, Wang Mang soared into the sky and directly shattered the space enchantment. After that, Wang Mang's speed skyrocketed. He turned into a stream of light and flew towards the road of the city. But when Wang Mang flew through the forest to the vast wilderness, he saw a few geniuses fighting fiercely in an open space. Moreover, these 6 geniuses were all legendary geniuses. Their battle power had reached the peak of the 8th heaven of the Emperor God realm. Hence, Wang Mang immediately stopped in his tracks. His eyes were shining. This was an appetizer right after breaking through. 6 geniuses, 60 days of qualification. Since it was delivered to his door, he had to eat it. Thinking of that, Wang Mang immediately raised his hand and formed seal. A terrifying power of law condensed and instantly sealed the surrounding area. This sudden turn of events caused the 6 geniuses who were in the midst of a fierce battle to stop in their tracks. Their faces were filled with panic. Their gazes converged on Wang Mang, and their expressions instantly turned solemn. The reason for that was because they were all able to sense the terrifying threat from Wang Mang. Clearly, this was a genius with peak 9th heavenly layer God Emperor battle prowess. Therefore, after seeing Wang Mang, the group of prodigies became much more restrained. At this moment, the leader confidently looked at Wang Mang and calmly asked, "Fellow Taoist, what do you mean? Do you want to hunt us down?" As the Sky Pride asked this question, the other 5 Sky Prides also glared at Wang Mang. After all, among all the geniuses present, Wang Mang, the uninvited guest, was their greatest enemy. Seeing this, Wang Mang couldn't help but laugh. He crossed his arms and stood proudly in the air. "All of you attack together. Don't say that I didn't give you a chance." One had to admit that after Wang Mang's cultivation realm had increased, his tone had become much more arrogant. After hearing this, the 6 Sky Prides were immediately enraged. They glared at him and sneered. "What a joke. You're just a peak 9th heavenly layer God Emperor. Do you really think we're afraid of you? Even if the 6 of us aren't your match, we're still not afraid of you. Why are you talking so much nonsense with him? Do you really think we're easy to bully? Today, if we join forces, we might be able to defeat a genius with ninth heavenly layer god Emperor battle prowess. After saying that, the group of Sky Prides directly attacked Wang Mang. They were extremely decisive. Obviously, they also knew that Wang Mang wouldn't let them go. Since they were going to fight, they naturally had to make the first move to gain the upper hand. Bright moon birth from the blue sea. Heaven and earth seal with a thought. Evil dragon roar. Crow ride a plane. In an instant, divine powers that could cover the sky and cover the sun condensed under the vast power of law. Then, these terrifying divine powers swept towards Wang Mang like a tsunami. Moreover, from the way they didn't hold back, it was obvious that they didn't hold back at all. In the next moment, black crows that filled the sky swept over like a crazy tide. Following closely behind were hundreds of millions of green evil dragons that roared in all directions. Then there was another ice storm, and a tsunami-like divine ability swept over. Bang, bang, bang. Rumble. In the next moment, these terrifying divine powers instantly drowned Wang Mang. After seeing this scene, the group of Sky Prides was completely dumbfounded. Isn't this guy a little too arrogant? He doesn't even defend himself? He's looking down on us too much. Just as they were infuriated, something that made them dumbfounded happened. After the terrifying divine ability dissipated, Yi Zichen's expression changed. They saw that Wang Mang was still standing in the sky with his arms crossed in front of him. After seeing this scene, the 6 Sky Prides sucked in a breath of cold air. They had tried their best to attack, but Wang Mang was unscathed. How were they going to fight? At the same time, they also realized a serious problem. Wang Mang was very likely to have a pseudo-rank 6 physical body type divine power. What did this mean? It meant that he had mythical aptitude. Mythical aptitude actually depended on 3 aspects. Firstly, it was a pseudo-rank 6 physical body divine power. Secondly, it was a method to forcibly increase one's combat power. Thirdly, it was a pseudo-rank 6 divine power that could kill the essence soul. If these 3 conditions were met, there was no limit to becoming a mythical Sky Pride. But could they, the legendary Sky Prides, meet these conditions? Perhaps they could meet one of them, but very few could meet all 3. In their opinion, Wang Mang already had a pseudo-rank 6 physical body divine power. This meant that Wang Mang already had the qualifications to become a mythical Sky Pride. Thinking of this, the Sky Prides present looked at Wang Mang with fear in their eyes, because among them, only 2 Sky Prides could meet 1 or 2 of these 3 conditions. But this was still not enough to fight against Wang Mang, because Wang Mang had a pseudo-rank 6 physical body divine power. This meant that Wang Mang was almost invincible among the same level of combat power, unless the other Sky Prides also had pseudo-rank 6 physical body divine power, but only one of them had it. This Sky Pride was the one who spoke to Wang Mang earlier. He had both the means to forcibly increase his strength and also the pseudo-rank 6 physical body divine power. But did he dare to go against Wang Mang? He did not dare, as long as Wang Mang did not kill him. He was not willing to forcibly increase his strength to go against Wang Mang, because forcibly increasing his strength to go against Wang Mang would cause him to suffer heavy losses, and he would not be able to do anything to Wang Mang. The final result was that he would suffer heavy losses, and his cultivation level would drop. He might even be targeted by Wang Mang. Therefore, after making a decision, this Sky Pride immediately made up his mind. He looked up at Wang Mang and asked helplessly, "Fellow Taoist, can you let me go?" Hearing this, Wang Mang's face was instantly filled with pride. He stood with his hands behind his back and looked down condescendingly. "What do you have to ask me to let you go? Do you think you can go against me after forcibly increasing your combat power? Even if you forcibly increase your strength and have a physical body divine power, you can temporarily hide. But what if I completely target you? Do you think you have a way out? So, what right do you have to ask me to let you go? What benefits do I have?" Chapter 819. Clearly, Wang Mang had analyzed the pros and cons very clearly. Now, he could get whatever he wanted. He was at the peak of his life. So what if the other party had the means to forcefully raise his strength? Even if the other party raised his strength, he could only raise his battle strength to the peak of the ninth heaven of the divine emperor realm. Moreover, this was only temporary. He still had to pay the painful price of a drop in his realm. This prodigy was in the same situation as Wang Mang when he was hunted by the Summit Alliance. He had the strength to protect himself, but the price was a little heavy. Moreover, even if the other party raised his strength, he still couldn't kill him. That was very awkward. He had paid the price. The enemy had risen. The difficulty had been overcome. Trouble had come again. If Wang Mang wanted to target him after this kid didn't need to be around anymore. If he was targeted by Wang Mang for a long period of time, his ending wouldn't be much better than Ancestral Gragon. This was also the reason why Wang Mang didn't choose to raise his strength back then, because when he was hunted by the Summit Alliance, it was useless even if he raised his strength. If he raised his strength back then, if the other party also had a pseudo-rank 6 physical body divine ability, he would suffer great losses. If he offended the Summit Alliance and was targeted, it wouldn't be worth it for Wang Mang. But it was different now. Wang Mang wasn't afraid of being targeted. At the same level of battle strength, Wang Mang had a divine ability that could forcefully raise his strength. He also had a pseudo-rank 6 physical body divine ability. He also had a rare primordial spirit attack divine ability. It could be said that Wang Mang's foundation was too strong. The method to forcefully raise his strength should be a pseudo-rank 6 divine ability. The primordial spirit attack divine ability should also be a pseudo-rank 6 divine ability. The physical body divine ability should also be a pseudo-rank 6 divine ability. It could be said that Wang Mang could be said to have the qualifications of a legendary prodigy. Back to the topic. After facing Wang Mang's questioning, this prodigy fell into a dilemma. That's right. What benefits could he bring to Wang Mang? Moreover, Wang Mang had weighed the pros and cons very clearly. He was in an invincible position. It was just like the Summit Alliance in the past. They were in an invincible position. That was why he dared to kill geniuses with peak 8th sky of heavenly god realm battle prowess. Right now, Wang Mang was the same. He was fearless and full of confidence. As for his opponent forcibly increasing his strength, since that's the case, I'll just level up. At most, he would just let the other party escape this calamity. There would be no loss. However, if he made Wang Mang unhappy, he could still target him. It could be said that the geniuses with peak 9th heaven's god emperor battle prowess on the path of conquering the myriad worlds. It could be said that they were superior generals who could crush their opponents to death. They were displaying this brilliantly. After a long silence, Hua Yunfei asked slowly, "Fellow Taoist, what will it take for you to let me go?" Obviously, he didn't know how to convince Wang Mang. He might as well directly state the conditions that Wang Mang had set for him. At the same time, when the other prodigies saw this, they all had different expressions on their faces. "Fellow Taoist, we are also willing to pay a price other than our lives. Please let us go." "Yes, as long as fellow Taoist is willing to let us go, we will follow fellow Taoist's lead and be willing to serve you." Hearing this, Wang Mang's expression was indifferent. He didn't care at all. However, this Hua Yunfei prodigy made Wang Mang think of something. Since he couldn't kill him, how could he maximize his benefits? At this moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Detected the host's current situation. The host is given the following mission to choose from. Mission 1. Build an alliance. There will be no less than one alliance member. Mission time. Obtained upon completion. Mission reward. 10 billion energy points. Immortal King Grade Treasure Chest X1. Random Lottery Chance X1. Mission 2. Build an alliance. There will be no less than 3 alliance members. Mission time. Obtained upon completion. Mission reward. 30 billion energy points. Immortal King Grade Treasure Chest X1. Immortal King Grade Blind Box X1. Mission 3. Build an alliance. There will be no less than 4 alliance members. Mission time, obtained upon completion. Mission reward, 30 billion energy points. Immortal King Grade Treasure Chest X1. Immortal King Grade Blind Box X1. Random Lottery Chance X1. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was stunned. He never expected that the system would ask him to build an alliance at this time. What the F***CK? The problem was that he was already used to fighting alone. If he could win, he would fight. If he couldn't win, he would run. This was Wang Mang's motto. As for teamwork, it wasn't that Wang Mang hadn't thought about it. But in the face of life and death, Wang Mang couldn't sacrifice himself for his teammates. In the face of absolute benefits, Wang Mang couldn't share the benefits with his teammates. Wang Mang knew himself too well. He often operated without being human for the sake of benefits. He simply did it casually and didn't feel guilty at all. If he really built an alliance, how long would those members of his alliance live? To be honest, Wang Mang didn't even know. After all, betraying his teammates at the critical moment. Practice makes perfect, and he was already familiar with the path. Therefore, Wang Mang had once given himself this evaluation. He was definitely not a hypocrite. But he was definitely a real villain. As for the bottom line of moral integrity, wasn't it used to set a record? Fortunately, the mission only asked him to build an alliance. Once the alliance was built, it should be over. With that thought, Wang Mang already made a choice in his heart. In the next moment, Wang Mang said in his heart, "System, I choose the third mission." Then, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. You have successfully chosen the mission. Please complete the mission as soon as possible to obtain the reward." After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang nodded to himself. Then, Wang Mang came back to his senses. He looked at Hua Yunfei. This guy was looking at him eagerly. At this moment, Wang Mang suddenly rolled his eyes and looked at Hua Yunfei indifferently. "How about this? I'm going to build an alliance. You have good potential and strength. Why don't you join my alliance? Go and kill these guys and send them to me for me to devour. Let me see your sincerity." After speaking, Wang Mang ignored the other geniuses whose expressions changed drastically and looked at Hua Yunfei indifferently. Hearing this, Hua Yunfei's expression kept changing. He suddenly felt very conflicted. "Fellow cultivator, you're making me fall into a heartless and unjust trap," because there were two members who were his battle partners. Hearing this, Wang Mang nodded indifferently and said coldly with his hands behind his back, "Okay, I know. Since you've chosen to be my enemy, then you'd better be prepared to be my enemy and pay the price." After speaking, Wang Mang's killing intent gradually gathered in his eyes. He was ready to attack. At this moment, these geniuses looked at Hua Yunfei emotionally. None of them expected that at such a critical moment, Hua Yunfei would actually reject Wang Mang's invitation for them. This was what it meant to be true in adversity. Just when the geniuses were extremely touched, Hua Yunfei hurriedly waved his hand and explained to Wang Mang, "Fellow cultivator, please don't misunderstand. Although I'm on good terms with them, I won't go through life and death with them." Chapter 821. Hearing this, Wang Mang pondered for a moment, then slowly said, "Let's call it the Dog Slaughtering Alliance." Hua Yunfei almost vomited blood when he heard Wang Mang's words. What kind of name is that? It doesn't sound domineering at all. There were a few powerful alliances outside the second city. For example, the Pinnacle Alliance. For example, the Godslayer Alliance. For example, the Four Seas Alliance. At least, they should have a more ferocious name. Dog Slaughtering Alliance? This was too King embarrassing. Are they going to tell the world that the people in their alliance are all dogs? At that moment, a strange expression appeared on Hua Yunfei's face. He looked to Wang Mang with a strange expression. Wang Mang touched his nose and asked, "What's wrong? What's wrong? Doesn't Dog Slaughtering Alliance sound good?" In my eyes, these geniuses are all pigs and dogs. When I raise my butcher's knife, I'll kill them one by one. Wang Mang was in high spirits when he said that. That was indeed his idea. In fact, Wang Meng couldn't wait to set off right away. The reason for that was because Wang Meng felt that his current strength was already extremely powerful. There were very few geniuses with ninth heaven of the Emperor God level who could compete with him, unless they were geniuses with ninth heaven of the Emperor God level who also had a physical body and top divine ability. If they were geniuses with no physical body divine ability, even if they were all ninth heaven of the Emperor God level, in Wang Meng's eyes, these fellows could also be hunted and slaughtered. Hua Yunfei could not help but whisper, "Friend, why don't we change the name? If other geniuses hear about this name, they'll laugh at us. Those who don't know better might think that we are all mongrels." Wang Meng was stunned for a while when he heard that. He thought for a long time and nodded. Dog Slaughtering Alliance did not sound good. It was not domineering enough. Wang Meng said slowly, "Let's call it the Hunting Alliance." Li Yunfei thought for a while and nodded helplessly. As fellow Taoist and said, "Let's call it the Hunting Alliance. This alliance name sounds much better than the Mongrel Alliance." Hearing this, Wang Meng nodded slightly, then said, "That's right. Let's go. Come with me to recruit 3 geniuses to join our alliance." Clearly, Wang Meng was prepared to complete this mission first. Coincidentally, at the same time as he formed the alliance to complete his mission, he could also see the strength of the prodigies outside the second city gate. If they were too weak, Wang Meng would not care about the rules and was prepared to start massacre. After hearing Wang Meng's words, Hua Yunfei nodded and said, "All right, fellow Taoist, please." Wang Meng did not waste his breath. He raised his hand and slapped out a giant palm of laws, shattering the entire spatial barrier. After that, Wang Meng flew towards the city with Hua Yunfei following closely behind. Soon, Wang Meng arrived outside the second city gate. When Wang Meng stopped flying and walked through the second city gate, a voice rang out. He realized that among the crowd of prodigies, there were many prodigies who were sizing him up. Wang Meng saw at first glance that the 6 people at one of the tables were from the Pinnacle Alliance. Among the 6 people, the green-robed prodigy looked at Wang Meng in surprise. Clearly, he did not expect this guy whom he did not deal with in the past. It had only been a few days, but his strength had already reached the 9th heaven of the God Emperor realm. Moreover, seeing how Wang Meng was strolling around, it was obvious that he did not forcefully increase his strength. This also meant that there was one more prodigy with peak 9th heaven of the God Emperor realm fighting strength outside the second city gate. Moreover, the green-robed prodigy knew that Wang Meng's peak 9th heaven of the God Emperor realm fighting strength was not weak. Currently, there were 2 types of people with peak 9th heaven of the God Emperor realm fighting strength. One of them had fleshly body divine abilities. The other type was those without physical abilities. Although both of them had peak 9th heaven of the God Emperor realm fighting strength, there was a huge difference in their strength. Because the prodigies with peak 9th heaven of the God Emperor realm fighting strength who had physical abilities had the ability to kill other prodigies with peak 9th heaven of the God Emperor realm fighting strength. As long as the prodigies with peak 9th heaven of the God Emperor realm did not have physical abilities. As for the prodigies with peak 9th heaven of the God Emperor realm who had physical abilities, both of them fought until the end. It was the prodigies with physical abilities who won. Of course, those without fleshly body divine abilities were indeed a level lower. However, the other party was not a fool. If they could not win, they would not just stand there and let the other party kill them. If both of them had peak 9th heaven of the God Emperor realm fighting strength, even the prodigies with physical abilities could not stop them if they wanted to leave. Currently, among the prodigies outside the second city gate, after Wang Meng scanned through the crowd, he roughly discovered the situation. Among them, there were only 9th heaven of the God Emperor realm experts. Wang Meng discovered a total of 40 of them. Other than that, there were more than 208th heaven of the God Emperor realm experts. As for the other prodigies, their strength was between middle stage God Emperor and late stage God Emperor. This allowed Wang Meng to see the prodigies' strength clearly. He had to admit that the prodigies here were simply too strong. Furthermore, Wang Mang felt that these prodigies with peak ninth heaven of the god emperor realm fighting strength, they would definitely be able to pass through the first stage. It would not be difficult for them to enter the second stage. As for why they did not advance, Wang Mang did not know. After all, he had not even entered the second city. There were 5 stages when fighting in the myriad worlds. Furthermore, there were 3 cities in each stage. He had not even passed through the first stage. At this moment, Wang Mang saw the green-robed prodigy nodding his head slightly at him. It was a form of acknowledgement. Seeing that, Wang Mang ignored him. This fellow had previously attacked him and wanted to kill him. Even though it had always been strength that was respected, Wang Mang did not want to curry favor with the other party. Therefore, he naturally turned a blind eye to Ben. Seeing that, the green-robed prodigy smiled nonchalantly. At this moment, Wang Mang said to Hua Yunfei indifferently, "Go and find 3 decent fellows to join our hunting union." Hearing that, Hua Yunfei was stunned for a while before nodding his head. After that, Wang Mang saw Hua Yunfei enter the crowd of prodigies. Many geniuses glanced sideways at Hua Yunfei, and some even greeted him. This also proved that Hua Yunfei had been here for quite some time. He was indeed very capable to be able to survive until now. Of course, Wang Mang also discovered another problem. As his strength increased, these prodigies were obviously in awe of him. Wherever Wang Mang's gaze swept across, those who met Wang Mang's gaze would basically nod their heads and smile at him. Even if they were not good enough, they would be expressionless when facing prodigies of the same level. They did not reveal any malicious intent. These people look harmless, but Wang Mang knew that they were not easy to deal with. At the same time, Wang Mang was not someone to be trifled with. Half an hour later, Wang Mang saw Hua Yunfei leading 3 prodigies of the peak of the 8th heaven of the God Emperor realm. Then, Hua Yunfei introduced them to Wang Mang with a smile. "Fellow cultivator, what do you think of these 3 brothers? They are willing to join our hunting union." Hearing that, the eyes of the 3 prodigies of the peak of the 8th heaven of the God Emperor realm lit up. After exchanging glances, they cupped their hands and greeted Wang Mang enthusiastically. "Greetings, fellow cultivator." Obviously, Wang Mang's peak of the 9th heaven of the God Emperor realm had successfully attracted the 3 of them to join. More importantly, Wang Mang had a physical body divine ability. He had the battle strength of a 9th heaven of the God Emperor realm. Such a prodigy meant that he was one of the strongest prodigies here. Otherwise, they would not be interested in this newly formed hunting union. Hearing that, Wang Mang's eyes lit up. These guys were not weak. If they were still at the 8th heaven of the God Emperor realm, Wang Mang was not confident that he could kill them. That was because Wang Mang could feel the aura of a top physical body divine ability from them. These guys were definitely talented enough to break through to the God Myth level. Thinking of that, Wang Mang was very satisfied with his team members. He nodded and said, "Good. Are you all willing to join our hunting union?" Hearing that, the 3 prodigies looked at each other and cupped their hands and smiled at Wang Mang. "Then we are allies from now on. Fellow cultivator, please take care of us." "Yes. Fellow cultivator, please take care of us." Wang Mang nodded and was about to speak. The system's voice sounded. "Ding. Congratulations, host. Mission completed." "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 30 billion energy points." "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a celestial king-level blind box X1." "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a celestial king-level treasure box X1." "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a random lottery ticket X1." Chapter 822. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang was overjoyed. This mission was 2F** easy. Just recruiting a few people, and it was done. Of course, Wang Mang also discovered it. The strength of these fellows that he recruited were all very tyrannical. All of them had the talent of a legend and were on par with Hua Yunfei. Hence, Wang Mang said with a smile, How should I address you, fellow Taoists? Hearing this, the three young geniuses looked at each other and cupped their hands towards Wang Mang with a smile. Zhang Jie greets fellow Taoist. Lu Han greets fellow Taoist. Kai Su Kong greets fellow Taoist. Good fellow. After hearing the names of these three guys, Wang Mang almost thought that these guys were preparing to debut as a team, because the names of these guys were too similar to some celebrities on Earth. But it was worth mentioning that these names were quite easy to remember. Hearing that, Wang Mang nodded, then sent a mental message to the four people, including Hua Yunfei. Our hunting alliance's first target will be those with a lower cultivation realm. It's good to form a team and hunt all these geniuses with the combat strength of a middle-stage god emperor. Clearly, when forming the alliance, Wang Mang had thought of this problem, because there were many geniuses with the strength of a middle-stage god emperor, and they were very easy to bully. If this group of geniuses were hunted, then it was not bad to slowly hunt the late-stage god emperor. To be honest, if not for the fact that there were more than 40 geniuses with the combat strength of a peak 9th stage god emperor, Wang Mang might not be able to hold back and directly kill them all on the spot. Hearing this, the eyes of the four members, including Hua Yunfei, lit up. Indeed, if they hunted the middle stage god emperor, they could do it too. But it was impossible for them to act on a large scale. Once they acted on a large scale, they would immediately be targeted by the other geniuses. For example, the alliance of geniuses with the combat strength of a 9th stage god emperor who stood at the top of the hunting alliance. Hence, including Hua Yunfei, they directly told Wang Mang the seriousness of the matter. After listening to the members of the alliance, Wang Mang fell into deep thought. Of course, Wang Mang was aware of this kind of situation where the entire body would be affected by a single strand of hair. This proved it. The geniuses he had recruited were all at the peak of the 8th heaven of the Emperor God realm. Actually, it was not that useful. It was best to recruit peak 9th heaven god emperors. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately scolded himself for being foolish. Why did he recruit these idiots? After all, only geniuses with the battle prowess of a 9th heaven god emperor could become the masters of the next few cities. Those young geniuses of the 8th sky of the great supreme god realm joined his alliance because they wanted his help. Thinking of this, Wang Mang frowned and asked, "You mean to say that if you all were to act alone, you would be able to succeed? But if it's a large-scale operation, will it be easy to be targeted? What if you lure those prodigies over?" Hearing this, Zhang Jie shook his head and said, "That's impossible. Let's put it this way. These prodigies help each other, but they are also vigilant against each other. They are very smart. They don't interact with late-stage god emperor prodigies." Hearing this, Lu Han nodded in agreement. That's right. These guys are smart. Moreover, most of them stay near the city gate. The moment there is any movement, they will rush into the city. Hearing this, Wang Mang nodded. He discovered that this was indeed the case. These late-stage god emperor prodigies gathered at the entrance of the second city. But the middle-stage god emperor prodigies gathered at the entrance of the first city. One had to admit that these prodigies were very smart. The moment there was any movement, they would immediately hide in the city or escape into the great desolate forest. After a long silence, Wang Mang raised his head and looked at the four members of the alliance. He frowned and said, "If that's the case, what use do I have for you?" Hearing Wang Mang's words, the prodigies, including Hua Yunfei, were all embarrassed. In fact, their positions were indeed very awkward. The strongest prodigies were at the 9th heaven god emperor prodigies. These unparalleled 8th heaven god emperor prodigies were in an awkward position. They were stronger than those at the same level. They could even kill prodigies at the same level. But they had to worry about being hunted by 9th heaven god emperor prodigies. Only 9th heaven god emperor prodigies did not have to worry about being hunted, because in the few cities behind, 9th heaven god emperor prodigies were still popular. At this moment, Lu Han transmitted a sinister message. "Alliance leader, actually we can hunt prodigies at the 8th heaven god emperor prodigies. We can hunt prodigies at the 8th heaven god emperor prodigies." If we include Alliance Leader, it's absolutely safe. Furthermore, these prodigies at the 8th Heaven God Emperor prodigies are all very arrogant. They don't seem to be on guard against geniuses of the same level. This is a good target group for us to target. Hearing this, Wang Mang's eyes brightened. He had an idea. That's right, these 8th Heaven God Emperor prodigies were easy targets. They were all Wang Mang's targets. Moreover, Wang Mang knew who Lu Han was talking about. He was referring to those prodigies who did not have any physical body type divine ability. These prodigies were not invincible among those at the same level. But Wang Mang's alliance had recruited Hua Yunfei and the other three. They were all invincible among those at the same level. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was in a good mood. He immediately thought of a way to hunt these prodigies at the 8th Heaven God Emperor prodigies. Then, Wang Mang transmitted a message. All right, later, you guys are free to disperse. Try your best to lure 3 to 5 prodigies over. The gathering point will be the place where you met Hua Yunfei last time. Hearing this, Hua Yunfei and the other 3 nodded calmly. Then, the 4 of them took the initiative to disperse with Wang Mang. Soon, they blended into the group of prodigies. Regarding this, Wang Mang found an inn at the exit of the first city gate and sat down. But at this moment, a familiar voice came from not far away. Brother Wang Mang? Hearing this, Wang Mang looked over. He saw Li Qinglian's familiar figure. As for Ancestral Graygon, Wang Mang did not see him at all. Hearing this, Wang Mang nodded indifferently and said calmly, Why? Where's Ancestral Graygon? Hearing this, Li Qinglian smiled brightly and said, Ancestral Graygon has chosen to stay in the city. It seems that a big family in the city has taken a fancy to him. If nothing goes wrong, he should be able to struggle for a while. In order not to be a burden to me, he parted ways with me. Speaking of this, Li Qinglian looked very helpless. Obviously, she had a good relationship with Ancestral Graygon. Hearing this, Wang Mang was shocked, but he did not ask further. There were indeed many families living in the city, and they were all very powerful. Of course, they were not prodigies who fought in the path of 10,000 realms. They could enter and leave the city freely, and there was an obvious difference between them and the prodigies. Therefore, the prodigies who came to participate in the path of 10,000 realms would not attack them. But this also meant that Ancestral Graygon's future was bleak. Could he continue to advance on the path of 10,000 realms in the future? All of this was really hard to say, but the chances were definitely slim. Thinking of this, Wang Mang could not help but sigh. Conquering the myriad heavens and myriad worlds was really full of variables. Chapter 823. It was no wonder that so many prodigies who had fought in all the realms would leave the stage dejectedly. That was because some would rise and shine, while others would fall like the Ancestral Graygon. At that moment, a genius ran out from the city gates and shouted, Everyone be careful! Everyone be careful! A second Heaven Supreme Realm prodigy has entered the city. Hearing that, the thousands of geniuses on the roads between the two cities became restless. What the F***CK? Another Lameter prodigy? What's going on recently? So many Supreme Realm geniuses have arrived. Who knows what's going on? There have been a lot of Supreme Realm geniuses recently. Let's go back to the city. Supreme Realm geniuses are not to be trifled with. Let's avoid them for now. That's right. None of us here can fight against Supreme Realm geniuses. After the uproar from the crowd of Sky Pride subsided, Wang Mang saw a scene that made him dumbfounded. The thousands of geniuses returned to the first city. Even the geniuses around Wang Mang did the same. Seeing that, Wang Mang also hurried back to the first city. As expected, when Wang Mang returned to the first city, he saw a white-robed prodigy walking toward him from the street in the distance. His aura was very powerful and had completely surpassed the fighting power of a 9th Heaven God Emperor. But when he saw that genius, Wang Mang couldn't help but be stunned. That was the person who had caused chaos among countless geniuses. It was none other than him. It was the ancient emperor of the Sacred Emperor continent. At the same time, The thousands of geniuses at the city gates all looked at the ancient emperor. But without exception, there was fear, wariness, and respect in their eyes. Obviously, the ancient emperor had suppressed them to the point that they did not even dare to breathe. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang was also extremely shocked. He did not expect the ancient emperor's strength to increase so quickly. When he first met the ancient emperor, that guy was not that strong. At the same time, the ancient emperor was expressionless as he looked at all the geniuses present. His eyes were filled with killing intent. After all, if he were to kill all the geniuses at the scene, the consequences would be unimaginable. With his strength, he definitely had the confidence to break through. In fact, if there was another wave of this many geniuses, the ancient emperor was confident that he could do it in the shortest time possible. He had caught up to the former great demon king, who was also the strongest heaven's chosen hunter. Therefore, the killing intent in his eyes was not concealed at all. It could even be said to be naked. All the sky prides present were trembling with fear as they watched on with fear in their eyes. Of course, the geniuses at the peak of the ninth heavenly god realm were wary of the ancient emperor. However, they weren't afraid of the ancient emperor and weren't too concerned. This was because in the eyes of these peak ninth heaven god emperor geniuses, there were many geniuses who had the battle strength of a peak ninth heaven god emperor. The ancient emperor was just a step ahead of them in terms of cultivation level. Given some time, they would be able to catch up. This was also the confidence of many ninth heavenly layer god emperor geniuses present. At this moment, the ancient emperor's gaze suddenly focused on Wang Mang. Obviously, he recognized Wang Mang. What surprised him even more was this Ant of the past. His battle prowess had actually reached the peak of the ninth heaven god emperor realm. Furthermore, he had collected all the supreme being masks. No one was more familiar with the supreme being masks than him. It was a treasure left behind by a supreme being in the past. Furthermore, it was a treasure condensed from who knows how many stage 5 experts. This treasure was also known as a fifth heavenly treasure. In the eyes of the sky prides, it was a supreme treasure. At this moment, the ancient emperor looked at Wang Mang indifferently and asked, "Where's the ancestral gray gone? Is that trash already dead?" Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned at first. Then he smiled brightly and said, "You guessed wrong, Taoist ancient emperor. The ancestral Graygon is now in the city. He is doing well. However, I'm afraid he won't be able to advance any further. This is because he forcefully increased his strength twice in a row, causing his cultivation level to drop severely." Hearing this, the ancient emperor nodded indifferently and said in disdain, "This trash is a disgrace to the sacred emperor continent. He's not even as good as an ant like you." Hearing this, Wang Mang was instantly depressed. "Damn it, if you want to scold the ancestral Graygon, so be it. But why do you have to scold me as well?" Although he was unhappy, Wang Mang kept a smile on his face and did not say anything else. At this moment, Wang Mang saw that the ancient emperor had already walked out of the city. Seeing this, all the sky prides heaved a sigh of relief. Because if the ancient emperor stayed in the city and did not leave, they would not dare to leave. They really didn't dare to leave the city. What if they were killed after leaving the city? Second heaven, supreme realm. This meant that the ancient emperor was 2 levels higher than them. Because of this, they had no intention to fight and chose to hide in the city. However, at this moment, the ancient emperor, who had walked out of the city, suddenly stopped. Then he turned to look at the sky prides in the city and asked slowly, "Why are you all hiding in the city and not coming out? Are all you cowards?" Hearing this, all the sky prides were dumbfounded. F*CK. What is this guy trying to do? Is he trying to trap us in the city? In an instant, many sky prides thought of this possibility. Then, all the sky prides' expressions changed drastically. Their eyes were extremely gloomy. If the ancient emperor chose to block them at the city gate, they would not be able to leave the city at all. Not being able to leave the city naturally meant that they would not be able to hunt and strengthen themselves. Therefore, all the sky prides' expressions were extremely ugly. What made the sky prides even more furious was that they had never seen such a shameless person. A second Heaven Supreme Realm cultivator actually wanted them to leave the city to fight him? Was this any different from telling them to come out and die? In an instant, all the Sky Prides stared at the ancient emperor angrily. Many Sky Prides with ninth heaven god emperor battle prowess could not help but mock him. Fellow Taoist, aren't you a little too shameless? A second Heaven Supreme Realm cultivator wants us to come out and die? What a joke. What a good plan. You want us to go out and give you some capital to conquer the various heavens? In an instant, all the Sky Prides with ninth heaven god emperor battle prowess mocked him in disdain. At this moment, the system's voice rang in Wang Mang's mind. Ding! Detected host's current situation. Host is given the following mission to choose from. Mission 1. Choose to curry favor with the ancient emperor when he is blocking the city gate. Mission time. Available upon selection. Mission reward. 20 billion energy points. Immortal King Grade Blind Box X1. Mission 2. Choose to avoid the ancient emperor when he is blocking the city gate to prevent him from bearing a grudge. Mission time. Available upon selection. Mission reward. 10 billion energy points. Immortal Grade Blind Box X1. Mission 3. When faced with the ancient emperor's shameful actions of blocking the city gates, choose to curse him. Mission time. Available upon completion. Mission reward. 30 billion energy points. Immortal King Grade Treasure Chest X1. Immortal King Grade Blind Box X1. Chapter 824. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang was first taken aback. Then he was completely dumbfounded. The reason was that this mission was too easy. This was no different from freeloading. Wang Mang did not even need to think. He had already made his decision. Was there a need to think about this mission? Of course, he would choose the third mission. After all, the reward for the third mission was the highest. What? Offended the ancient emperor? What was there to be afraid of, compared to when the ancient emperor scolded him previously? Wang Mang was already very unhappy. Furthermore, he was in the city now. Was the ancient emperor going to kill him? When he thought of this, Wang Mang silently said in his heart, "System, I choose the third mission." The next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully chosen the mission. Please complete the mission as soon as possible to receive the reward. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang nodded. He did not have to offend the ancient emperor. The main thing was that there was a reward. Also, the ancient emperor was too shameless. A second Heaven Supreme Realm cultivator actually came to kill all the Sky Prides here. The problem was, how was Wang Mang going to hunt the Sky Prides now? Therefore, the ancient emperor's actions were a conflict of interest with all the Sky Prides present. Naturally, Wang Mang was included. The next moment, all the Sky Prides were glaring at the ancient emperor. Wang Mang walked out, pointed at the ancient emperor, and scolded. I've never seen such a shameless person. What kind of person are you to attack those who are weaker than you? If I were you, I would be too ashamed to continue living in this world. Wang Mang's sudden scolding attracted the attention of all the Sky Prides present. At the same time, the ancient emperor, who was standing at the city gate, was also stunned. Then, he flew into a rage. If other Sky Prides had scolded him, it would have been fine. But who was Wang Mang? In the past, he was just an ant in his eyes. After surviving, he did not know how to hide. Now he actually dared to scold him? The ancient emperor was enraged. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Wang Mang. This scene was naturally seen by Wang Mang. But what made Wang Mang dumbfounded was, he was already cursing the ancient emperor. Why hadn't he completed the mission yet? Could it be that he hadn't scolded them harshly enough? Just as Wang Mang was thinking, the ancient emperor said coldly, "Ant, back then, I could have forgiven you for dragging out an ignoble existence under me. How dare you speak rudely to me? If you fall into my hands, I'll make sure you suffer a fate worse than death." After hearing the ancient emperor's threat, Wang Mang was amused and mocked loudly. "Everyone, do you know that even though this kid has great talent and strength, he's infamous in our sacred emperor continent? but he has an almost perverted hobby. It can be said that he doesn't like beautiful women, but loves sows and cows. Such a hobby is unheard of since ancient times. Therefore, in the sacred emperor continent, he is mocked as the ancient emperor. After hearing what Wang Mang said, all the sky prides at the scene widened their eyes in disbelief. Evidently, they, more or less, believed what Wang Mang said. After all, they could already tell that the two of them were from the same hometown. Because of this, all the sky prides at the scene were in an uproar. Discussions broke out everywhere. What a guy. He really thinks that this is unheard of since ancient times. So that's how he got the title of the Ancient Emperor. This is the first time I've heard that someone has such a hobby. He won't even let go of sows? Huh. It's unheard of since ancient times. People call him the Ancient Emperor. So that's how it is. Awesome. It's true that the universe is so big that nothing is too strange. That's right. I've heard that he likes man wheels and loves his wife and daughter. However, this is the first time I've heard that he likes sows and cows. It seems like I'm really ignorant. However, the vastness of the universe is boundless. It's not surprising that such a thing exists. The Ancient Emperor is really a ruthless person. He's indeed an extreme state sky pride. He really doesn't walk the normal path. In an instant, all the sky prides were in a heated discussion. They whispered to each other and laughed. At the same time, their gazes towards the Ancient Emperor turned to one of mockery. Of course, the Ancient Emperor saw what was happening in front of him. The Ancient Emperor was so angry that his face was ashen. His body was trembling, and his eyes were bloodshot. If looks could kill, Wang Mang would have died a few hundred times. He pointed at Wang Mang and bellowed, "You shameless scoundrel! Do you dare to come out of the city and fight me? This emperor must skin you alive and hack you into pieces to vent the hatred in this emperor's heart." Upon hearing that, Wang Mang smiled proudly and said, "Come out of the city and fight me if you dare. I'll be waiting for you in the city. Come in and fight me if you dare." After hearing Wang Mang's words, all the sky prides were speechless. They had seen shameless people before, but it was their first time seeing someone as shameless as Wang Mang. Hearing this, the Ancient Emperor was so angry that his entire body was trembling. Good. You ain't. Let's see how long you can be smug for. I'll be waiting outside the city. Let's see if you can come out. Also, other than this kid, I'll allow everyone else to come out. I won't attack you." After saying that, the Ancient Emperor walked to a nearby inn and sat down. Hearing the Ancient Emperor's words, Wang Mang was flabbergasted. F***ck. He had offended the Ancient Emperor. This guy would rather not attack anyone else. He wanted to stay outside the city and wait for him. This made Wang Mang extremely uncomfortable. At the same time, Wang Mang felt a headache coming on. What should he do? At this moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. Ding. "Congratulations, host. Mission completed." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Obtained 30 billion energy points." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Obtained an immortal king-grade blind box X1. Ding. "Congratulations, host. Obtained an immortal king-grade treasure box X1. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang was still unhappy, because he thought that he could just scold the Ancient Emperor. He didn't expect that he would have to anger the Ancient Emperor to complete the mission. At the same time, Wang Mang was cursing the Ancient Emperor in his heart. Everyone was scolding him, but he didn't take it to heart. He just scolded him harshly. In the end, the Ancient Emperor bore a grudge against him. Fortunately, Wang Mang was slightly relieved. Although the Ancient Emperor had said that he was only targeting him, the rest of the Sky Prides were still unwilling to leave the city. The reason was naturally because they were afraid of being killed by the Ancient Emperor. Many Sky Prides had scolded or mocked the Ancient Emperor previously. Naturally, they wouldn't believe the Ancient Emperor's words so easily. But at this moment, one of the Sky Prides walked out of the city gate. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang was shocked. Damn, is there really someone who isn't afraid of death? It wasn't just Wang Mang. All the Sky Prides were shocked as they looked at the person walking out of the city. Similarly, this incomparably handsome and young genius was no ordinary person either. Needless to say, he was a legendary sky pride. His battle strength had reached the peak of the 8th heaven of the divine emperor realm. After he walked out of the city gate, the ancient emperor was also furious. He was already in a fit of anger. In the end, someone really dared to come out. Others didn't dare to come out. In the end, only you dare to come out? Are you special? Therefore, just as the ancient emperor stood up in anger and was about to attack, upon seeing this, the young genius immediately yelled angrily, "You're too arrogant. My father is a martial god. Try touching me if you dare." Chapter 8:25. Hence, just as the ancient emperor was about to attack in anger, seeing this, the young prodigy shouted angrily, "My father is the god of war. My father is a martial god. Try touching me if you dare." Finishing his words, the young elite glared at the ancient emperor. The ancient emperor was stunned. He could not figure out who the god of war was. Just as the ancient emperor was puzzled, the heavenly legends in the city were in an uproar. Discussions broke out everywhere. Damn, this guy's father is the god of war. No wonder he's so arrogant. Who's the god of war? Fellow cultivator, can you tell us? Kid, you're so ignorant. The god of war is a legendary prodigy. When he first entered the path of 10,000 realms, his battle strength was already at the 4th heaven of the supreme realm. That's right, the god of war is too strong. Among the supreme realm prodigies, only that black-robed prodigy from not too long ago can compare to him. Yeah, moreover, he was already at the 4th heaven of the supreme realm when he first entered. It's possible that he's already at the 5th heaven of the supreme realm now. That's right. The god of war is not to be trifled with. If this guy is the son of the god of war, he wouldn't be so fearless. That's true. It's hard for a 5th heaven to have a son, let alone a peak 5th heaven existence like us. That's right. If this guy is the son of the god of war, no ordinary person would dare to touch him. After hearing the discussions of the prodigies, Wang Mang finally knew why this kid was so arrogant. This kid's father was a legendary prodigy. No wonder he dared to leave the city so fearlessly. As expected, after hearing the discussions of the prodigies, even the ancient emperor had a wary look on his face. This kid before him was not enough to make him wary. However, his father was enough to make him wary. A 4th heaven supreme realm cultivator could easily kill him. Moreover, the higher the cultivation level, the harder it was to break through. It was the same for prodigies. However, his father was already a legendary prodigy. Such an existence could even become a supreme in the future. Therefore, even the ancient emperor had to be wary. After taking a deep breath, the ancient emperor said indifferently, "Since that's the case, do as you wish." Even though it was a little embarrassing to allow the other party to come and go as he pleased after learning of the other party's background, Zhang Xian felt that it was a little shameful. However, the ancient emperor did not mind. Losing face was better than offending a powerful legendary genius. Hearing this, the heaven's favorite nodded proudly and walked out of the city. Seeing this, Wang Mang felt disdain in his heart, but he wasn't worried. He did not believe that the ancient emperor could keep blocking the city gates. Perhaps an even stronger heaven's chosen had arrived. When the time comes, it was impossible for this guy to continue blocking the city gate. After all, they were outside the first city. How high-spirited was Wang Mang? In the end, he was still chased away by an even stronger genius. Therefore, the current situation was the same. If an even more powerful heaven's chosen were to come, at that time, the ancient emperor would naturally be chased away. Now, all he needed to do was wait in the city for even more powerful prodigies to appear. Unfortunately, Wang Mang didn't expect that he would have to wait for 2 months. In these 2 months, no one could break the rule of the ancient emperor. Therefore, the number of heaven's favorites in the first city had reached close to 2,000. This made the ancient emperor, who had wanted to leave, even more reluctant to do so. He was no longer here to kill Wang Mang. He wanted to kill the 2,000 heaven's favorites in the city. 2,000 heaven's favorites. If he could kill them all, then he would be able to reach the level of legendary heaven's favorites. Under such temptation, the ancient emperor could not bear to leave. He couldn't wait to charge into the city and kill all the heaven's favorites. Unfortunately, the ancient emperor was devastated. These heaven's favorites scolded him every day, but no heaven's favorites were willing to leave the city. This infuriated the ancient emperor so much that he was hopping mad, but there was nothing he could do. On this day, not far from the exit of the first city, as usual, Wang Mang sat cross-legged with his eyes closed. Similarly, the rest of the heaven's favorites were in the same situation. Most of them were sitting cross-legged. This was because they had nothing to do. They couldn't go out of the city to hunt heaven's favorites, nor could they fight in the city. For the past 2 months, all the sky prides present had been in a daze. At this moment, a heaven's favorite in the city ran over excitedly and shouted, "We're about to be free. There's an even fiercer one in the first city." Hearing this, all the sky prides opened their sharp eyes and looked over. Obviously, this news was very exciting. Was there really an even fiercer heaven's favorite? Similarly, Wang Mang was no exception. After opening his eyes, he also looked at the streets in the city. In the next moment, Wang Mang felt a terrifying pressure engulfing the entire city. Yes, he hadn't even seen the heaven's favorite, but this terrifying pressure made Wang Mang feel like he couldn't lift his head. Fortunately, after Wang Mang activated the power of laws around him, he was able to resist this pressure. Finally, he didn't feel any discomfort. At this time, Wang Mang suddenly felt that the entire city had started to tremble. This was accompanied by the low roars of beasts and the sound of chains being dragged. All he saw was a burly heaven's favorite riding on a ferocious white tiger. What made Wang Mang feel even more incredulous was this white tiger's aura had reached the peak of the Emperor God realm. What a guy, riding on a peak Emperor God realm mount. In an instant, Wang Mang wasn't the only one who was shocked. All the heaven's favorites were in an uproar. Their fighting power was only at the peak of the Emperor God realm. Yet this guy's mount was already at the peak of the Emperor God realm. This was simply too insulting. Not only was the damage not great, but it was also extremely damaging. Soon, this heaven's favorite rode on the white tiger and arrived at the city gate. He was still sizing up the heaven's favorites. Wang Mang could see the greed and killing intent in this burly heaven's favorite's eyes. However, this burly heaven's favorite didn't stop and walked out of the city gate. When he arrived at the city gate, this burly heaven's favorite knew why so many heaven's favorites had gathered here. This was because this burly heaven's favorite had also seen the ancient emperor outside the city gate. However, what happened next left all the sky prides dumbfounded. This burly heaven's favorite had a look of disdain on his face. Then, he soared into the sky and attacked the ancient emperor. Obviously, he attacked without saying a word. He was extremely domineering. Seeing this burly heaven's favorite charging towards him, the ancient emperor's face turned ugly. Without hesitation, he rushed into the second city. However, the ancient emperor was still unwilling to give up. He asked angrily, "Do you dare to leave your name?" Hearing this, the burly heaven's favorite sneered, "Your grandfather, Lei Dong." Hearing this, the ancient emperor was enraged. "I, the ancient emperor, will remember you today." Hearing this, Lei Dong sneered, "How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? I'll break all the bones in your body." After saying that, Lei Dong rode on the white tiger and rushed into the second city. Seeing this, everyone, including Wang Mang, heaved a sigh of relief. At this moment, golden light suddenly appeared in the sky above the city. All of a sudden, everyone's attention was drawn to the sudden appearance of the golden light. Then, this golden light appeared at the city gate. Finally, it condensed into a golden token. When they saw this golden token, all the heaven's favorites were stunned. In the next instant, many heaven's favorites cried out in surprise, "Holy shit, this is the king token." Chapter 826. King Token? Holy shit, it's really the king token. How could this thing appear here? Yeah, the king token. It said that with this token, you can directly pass through the 4 checkpoints. Furthermore, with this token, you can directly participate in the Battle of the Heavens in the 5th checkpoint. Holy shit. So that's how it is. With the King token, you can basically directly participate in the last checkpoint. That's right. The last city of each checkpoint has a portal. With the King token, except for the 5th checkpoint, you can freely enter and exit the other checkpoints. Ahaha. It seems that the heavens are taking care of me. This is the rhythm of making me a god directly. Don't fight with me. This King's token is mine. For a moment, countless geniuses went crazy. This was especially true after they learned of the use of the title plate. Each of them was like a crazy demon, because the effect of the King token was too great. Once they had the King token, they could freely enter and exit the first 4 checkpoints of the path of the heavens. This meant that the risk was greatly reduced. When the Battle of the Heavens in the heavens opened, they could participate. Moreover, if the geniuses with high-level combat strength obtained the King token, they could even turn around and hunt these weaker geniuses to accumulate capital. All in all, one could imagine how attractive the King token was to the geniuses. When other geniuses participated in the Battle of the Heavens in the heavens, they could only advance and not retreat. But with this thing, not to mention retreating, they could leave at any time. For a moment, countless geniuses. At the same time, they all rushed out of the city. They tried to seize the King token in the sky. Similarly, after Wang Mang heard the words of the geniuses, he immediately had an idea about the King token. Unfortunately, Wang Mang's reaction was too slow. His speed was far slower than these geniuses. But to Wang Mang's surprise, the King token could actually run. It seemed to have grown legs and flew into the depths of the forest. The speed was so fast that it left all the geniuses dumbfounded. Holy shit, the King token can run? Is there any fellow Taoist with a big mouth who can explain? Yeah, this is the first time I've come to the path of myriad worlds. I don't know what's going on either. Just chase after him and be done with it. The title of King is not just about running away. It is the city spirit of the 15 cities of the myriad worlds. Of course they'll run, but once they get their hands on it, they'll basically be unimpeded. It'll be of great help to them in raising their ranks and hunting down other geniuses. That's right. The legendary battle god in the 4th stage is said to have obtained the King token. In the end, this guy ran to the 1st stage of the world to hunt and obtained who knows how many talent points. Yes. How many were there in the first round? I can't even count the number in the 1st stage. Among the top 10 worlds, a 1st stage can be born nearby. How many 1st stages do you think there are? Then, how many top greater 1,000 worlds are there in the entire universe? I can't even count them. But there are only 12 King tokens, and only 12 King tokens can be produced in the entire path of conquest. For a moment, the crowd of prodigies, who hadn't understood why the King token would run away, became even more excited. Similarly, Wang Mang was completely dumbfounded. Originally, he didn't pay much attention to this thing, because he also thought that this thing was only convenient for transportation. But after listening to the discussions of these prodigies, Wang Mang realized how precious this thing was. No wonder so many prodigies with the battle prowess of the 9th heaven of the Emperor God seem to have gone crazy, because with this King token, it was simply too heaven-defying. They could wander around many 1st cities. Then, they would continue to hunt other geniuses to accumulate capital and foundation, and have a great chance to become a legendary prodigy. However, it was a pity that the geniuses were going crazy over the medallion. One by one, they chased after the token crazily, but the token's speed was too fast. No one could easily catch up to the token, let alone obtain this golden token. Therefore, Wang Mang simply stared at this group of envious prodigies. After all, the number of prodigies that came out in full force could be imagined how terrifying it was. Yes, he also chased after the King token, but he couldn't forget about the proper business. The next moment, Wang Mang began to attack the prodigies beside him. Moreover, Wang Mang's attack was too sudden. Wang Mang transformed into a huge python and swallowed more than 10 prodigies in an instant. The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully swallowed a second heaven of the Emperor God, an unparalleled prodigy. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully gained 200 million energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully gained 2 talent points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully swallowed a third heaven of the Emperor God, an unparalleled prodigy. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully gained 300 million energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully gained 3 talent points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully swallowed a second heaven of the Emperor God, a legendary prodigy. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully gained 200 million energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully gained 10 talent points. Following the continuous sound of the system, Yi Zichen was stunned. Wang Mang was elated. Awesome. Too damn awesome. This swallowing was too awesome. Swallowing a group of prodigies in one bite. It was simply too awesome. Of course, Wang Mang's actions. Naturally, it caused a commotion among many prodigies. Many prodigies panicked and hurriedly distanced themselves from Wang Mang. However, they were still unwilling to give up on the king token. This was because the temptation of the king token was too great for them. Moreover, Wang Mang had transformed into his human form and blended into the group of prodigies again. He did not look like he was going to make a move. This also made the group of prodigies heave a sigh of relief once again and continue to chase after the king token. Unfortunately, when this group of prodigies let down their guard again, Wang Mang seized the opportunity again and transformed into a giant python that covered the sky and opened its bloody mouth. With this one bite, he swallowed a total of more than 20 prodigies who had yet to react, including those who were at the 8th heaven of the Emperor God level. For a moment, the system's voice rang out like raindrops. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully swallowed a 3rd heaven of the Emperor God, a legendary prodigy. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully gained 300 million energy points. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully gained 10 talent points. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully swallowed a 4th heaven of the Emperor God, a peerless prodigy. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully gained 400 million energy points. Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully gained 2 talent points. The system's voice kept ringing. It simply made Wang Mang extremely excited. This was the first time in his life that he had hunted prodigies. These guys were like dumplings, waiting for him to swallow each and every one of them. Moreover, this was only the beginning. There were more than 2,000 prodigies present. It was not too much for him to eat half of them, right? Chapter 827. If he could really devour half of the prodigies. Wang Mang was even confident that he could directly kill his way to the 4th round. Thinking of this, there was no need to mention how excited Wang Mang was. He had to seize the opportunity to kill more. This opportunity was too rare. It was not an exaggeration to say that it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. However, Wang Mang's actions attracted the attention of the surrounding prodigies. After all, Wang Mang had just devoured more than 20 prodigies in one gulp. Even though there were more than 2,000 prodigies present, Wang Mang's blatant devouring of so many prodigies naturally attracted the attention of many prodigies. In particular, the prodigies around Wang Mang were avoiding him like the plague. They all scattered and looked at Wang Mang with disgust and anger in their eyes. In their opinion, Wang Mang was too shameless. Wouldn't it be better for everyone to get the king token first? They had to decide who would get the king token first before they attacked. But Wang Mang was different. He chased after the rest of the group. He devoured most of the prodigies. This behavior made many prodigies shocked and angry. At the same time, many prodigies even cursed at Wang Mang. I've never seen such a shameless person. That's right. This guy has already backstabbed us twice in a row. Shameless. He hid behind the group of prodigies and backstabbed us. I'm going to vomit. He doesn't do anything related to human affairs at all. Wang Mang did not care about the curses of these prodigies. He transformed into his human form and continued to mingle with the group of prodigies. And he weaved back and forth in the group of prodigies. After a while, Wang Mang once again mingled with the group of prodigies. Then, Wang Mang began to backstab them every few days. The third time, Wang Mang devoured 30 prodigies in one gulp. This also caused a great commotion among the group of prodigies again. More and more prodigies began to pay attention to Wang Mang. There was no other way. They all knew. Among the prodigies, there was a shameless guy. While everyone was chasing after the king token, this guy mixed in with the crowd and often attacked them. Most importantly, it wasn't just once or twice. It had already happened 3 times. There were already close to 60 to 70 geniuses who had suffered. No matter how careless they were, they still became vigilant. At the same time, they also remembered Wang Mang's appearance, because it was this despicable fellow who often ambushed them. Even if there were close to 100 peak ninth heaven god emperor geniuses leading the group. They also understood the situation at a glance, but they didn't have time to deal with Wang Mang, because to them, these geniuses were indeed an irresistible temptation. But it was a far cry from the title of king. Furthermore, these sky prides were no fools. He couldn't just stand there and let Wang Mang kill him, right? Besides, how many could Wang Mang kill? After all of them received their king tokens, naturally, they would hunt down this group of prodigies. It was worth mentioning. Wang Mang succeeded several times. This group of geniuses had completely remembered him. Every time he wanted to mix in with the group of geniuses, the surrounding geniuses would recognize him and scatter. These geniuses all maintained a high level of vigilance towards Wang Mang and kept a sufficient distance from him. Regarding this, Wang Mang simply gave up on his disguise and started killing the geniuses without restraint. Regardless of whether he got the king token or not, he had to kill these geniuses to his heart's content. Currently, Wang Mang did not dare to say anything else. He had killed around 60 to 70 geniuses. The talent value he obtained was not small, even if it was less than 200 points. But it was definitely not small. Wang Mang's strength was originally at the peak amongst these geniuses. Hence, killing those geniuses with the strength of middle-stage god emperors was simply a massacre. Thinking till here, Wang Mang no longer concealed himself. He transformed into an enormous python and charged into the group of geniuses once again. Damn, everyone be careful. This brat is truly repulsive. He is too overbearing. Let us work together to kill him. When Wang Mang charged into the group of geniuses were infuriated by Wang Mang. They all executed their divine abilities, sending out attacks that covered the sky and earth towards Wang Mang. But what made many geniuses even more terrified was that Wang Mang was too strong. Their divine abilities did not injure Wang Mang at all. Instead, Wang Mang was able to pass through the all-encompassing divine ability. He immediately devoured more than 20 geniuses. This made many geniuses feel a chill down their spines, causing them to panic and become chaotic. Furthermore, many geniuses started to become rational, shaking their thoughts of chasing after the king token, because there were close to 100 geniuses who were as strong as Wang Mang. Could they really win against these geniuses? If they asked themselves honestly, they definitely wouldn't be able to win. Even if they got the king token, they could not protect it. After thinking of this, many geniuses became rational. Not only that, these geniuses even turned around and left the main group. Of course, there were also geniuses who chose to give it their all. Moreover, there were many geniuses here. For example, geniuses who had trump cards, or rather, geniuses who were hoping for a fluke. After all, apart from giving it their all, they really did not have the confidence to kill their way to the 4th stage. But with this king's token, they could stay active in the 1st stage. They could even hunt geniuses outside the 1st city to accumulate capital. If such a token were to be obtained by a mythical level genius, These mythical level geniuses would be able to hunt other geniuses. They would accumulate a large amount of talent to break through to the supreme level. Because of this, there were still many geniuses who were unwilling to give up. This also allowed Wang Mang to kill without restraint. In his fifth attempt at the group of geniuses, he successfully devoured 23 geniuses. In his sixth attempt at the group of geniuses, he successfully devoured 32 geniuses. In his seventh attempt at the group of geniuses, he successfully devoured 11 geniuses. Just like that, an extremely strange scene could be seen on the entire battlefield. The group of geniuses was chasing after the king token, and also avoiding the devouring of a black python. But no matter how the group of geniuses dodged, every time the python attacked, it would always gain something. By the time Wang Mang attacked the group of geniuses for the 10th time, he had once again devoured more than 10 geniuses. After succeeding again, Wang Mang began to circle the group of geniuses in the air again. At the same time, Wang Mang also made a rough calculation. He had attacked the group of geniuses 10 times in a row. But Wang Mang was very sure. The number of geniuses he had devoured, there were definitely no less than 180 geniuses. As for how much talent he had obtained, Wang Mang did not pay attention to calculating at all, but it was definitely more than 300 talent points. Therefore, Wang Mang was in a good mood. At this moment, he was swaying his huge body, and he was circling around the group of geniuses. Obviously, he was looking for an opportunity to attack again. Right at this moment, Wang Mang saw a scene that made him dumbfounded. He saw countless geniuses frantically chasing after the king token. Suddenly, the king token instantly changed its direction. Then, it flew towards him at a terrifying speed. Chapter 828. To be honest, when he saw the king order flying towards him, Wang Mang was dumbfounded. Although he also wanted to get the king order, Wang Mang did not think that he could get it. After all, among the geniuses present, there were at least 10 if not 20 who could match him. Moreover, there were close to 100 peak ninth heaven god emperors. It was imaginable. Hence, even Wang Mang did not have much of an advantage when fighting for the king order. Most importantly, Wang Mang did not think that the king order would fly over by itself. In an instant, it was not only Wang Mang who was dumbfounded. The rest of the Sky Prides stared at this scene with their mouths agape. Obviously, they did not expect that the king order that seemed to have intelligence. It flew directly towards Wang Mang. What did this mean? Could it be that everyone present could not match up to Wang Mang? Was Wang Mang worthy? It could be said that there were many geniuses who had such thoughts. Hence, after regaining their senses, this group of geniuses shouted angrily, "Brat, put down the king order, or we will kill you on the spot. Are you worthy of fighting with us for the king order? If you don't want to die, put down the king order immediately. Kill this brat. Is the king order something that you can touch?" In an instant, the peak ninth heaven god emperors leading the group roared angrily and charged forward. At the same time, Wang Mang, who was in a daze, immediately held the king order tightly and kept it in his storage space. After all, the king order was already sent to him. If he did not take it, it would be too unreasonable. But when Wang Mang saw this group of geniuses charging over angrily, even Wang Mang could not help but feel his scalp tingling, because there were too many geniuses charging over, close to 100 peak ninth heaven god emperor geniuses. Other than that, there were 1 to 2,000 geniuses charging over. Although Wang Mang did not care about this group of ordinary geniuses, but there were close to 100 peak ninth heaven god emperor geniuses. Wang Mang didn't think he could withstand it. Being invincible among the same level referred to one-on-one combat. However, if hundreds of prodigies of the same level were to gang up on him, Wang Mang felt that his ending would definitely not be good. Hence, without any hesitation, Wang Mang turned around and ran. Though he wanted to stay and kill heaven's favorites, he didn't want to be surrounded. It was precisely because of this that Wang Mang decisively chose to flee towards the great desolate forest. It would have been fine if these fellows had gathered together to chase after him. If they split up, they would naturally be chased down by him. Therefore, Even if he was running away, Wang Mang was still very calm. After all, there were only 20 people who were as strong as him. The remaining peak ninth heaven god emperor geniuses would not be able to defeat him if they were alone. As for the other geniuses with battle prowess at the eighth heaven of the god emperor realm, to Wang Mang, these people were like ants. If they dared to chase after him, he would kill them all easily. At the same time, seeing Wang Mang snatch the title token and flee towards the depths of the great desolate forest, the group of prodigies were furious. They stepped on the wind and clouds and chased after him. It was a pity that Wang Mang's fleeing speed wasn't slow. In just a short while, he pulled away from most of the prodigies. Those who could still catch up to Wang Mang were only close to 100 peak ninth heaven god emperor geniuses. Their speed was not much different from Wang Mang's. Perhaps there was a difference, but it wasn't to the extent of crushing. Hence, it was really difficult for Wang Mang to shake them off. In the blink of an eye, a few days had passed. But as time passed, the number of peak ninth heaven god emperor geniuses chasing after Wang Mang became lesser and lesser. This was because Wang Mang was definitely one of the stronger geniuses with battle prowess at the ninth heavenly layer god realm. Because ordinary peak ninth heaven god emperor geniuses weren't Wang Mang's match at all. Only a prodigy of the same level who possessed a body-type divine ability could fight Wang Mang head-on. But after chasing for such a long time, Wang Mang was also a little annoyed. If this group of people continued to chase after him, how could he continue hunting prodigies? Hence, Wang Mang had no choice but to ask in his heart, "System, is there any way to make a fake title token?" The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Can make a fake title token. Requires 5 billion energy value. Will the host create it?" After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang's mouth twitched. Luckily, he was already prepared to be cheated by the system. Hence, Wang Mang endured the pain and gritted his teeth. "Create." The next moment, the system's voice sounded again, frowny-faced ding. "The fake title token is successfully created. Ding. It has been sent to the host's backpack. Please check." Hearing that, Wang Mang's heart skipped a beat, and the same fake title token appeared in his hand out of thin air. After confirming that there was no mistake, Wang Mang deliberately slowed down to wait for this group of people to catch up. After all, Wang Mang wanted to send these people away. He had to let these prodigies see with their own eyes that he had handed over the title token. As expected, the group of prodigies who weren't slow to begin with quickly closed the distance. Moreover, they kept roaring at Wang Mang. "Brat, even if you escape to the ends of the earth, we won't let you go. That's right, lowly ant, hand over the title token, and we'll let you live. You want to monopolize the proclamation medallion? You must be dreaming. Hand it over." While this group of prodigies was roaring, they also used all sorts of divine abilities on Wang Mang. For a moment, Wang Mang deliberately went easy on them. This earth-shattering divine ability successfully blocked Wang Mang's path of retreat. Driven into a corner, Wang Mang's face was full of anger. "Damn it. Here you go." As soon as he said that, Wang Mang threw the title token in a direction where there was no one. Then, this fake title token, as if it had a mind of its own, fled into the distance. Seeing this, the group of prodigies was overjoyed. They immediately gave up on chasing Wang Mang. They chased in the direction of the title token. Seeing this, Wang Mang sneered. Whether or not this group of people could catch up to him, aside from this fake title token, even if they caught up to him, it would just be a fake title token. Of course, Wang Mang still hoped that they couldn't catch up and obtain the fake title token. This way, no one would suspect that this title token was fake. However, since he had already sent this group of annoying fellows away, then Wang Mang naturally had to start hunting the group of prodigies behind him. He could take advantage of these guys chasing after the fake title token to kill more prodigies. What made Wang Mang happy was that this group of prodigies didn't make him wait too long. 2 hours later, Wang Mang saw it. There seemed to be more than 1,000 geniuses in the crowd. They flew over from the distant sky like a swarm of locusts. After seeing Wang Mang, This group of prodigies couldn't help but be stunned. Then they all shouted excitedly, "Hand over the title token, or we will kill you together. Quickly hand over the title token. Otherwise, you will die without a burial place. Don't you have any eyesight? Quickly hand it over. I'm talking to you. Why are you talking nonsense with him? So what if he has the battle strength of a ninth heaven divine emperor? That's right, if we join forces, we can easily kill him on the spot." Chapter 829. Kid, hand over the king token obediently. Don't force us to make a move. Something's not right. If this kid still has the king token, how could those ninth heaven god realm geniuses let him off so easily? At this moment, a genius who sensed that something was amiss suddenly frowned and said. Hearing this, the other geniuses who were excited were all stunned. Then, their faces turned ugly. They were not fools. If they thought carefully, they would be able to find out where the problem was. Obviously, the king token might have been handed over by Wang Mang. Otherwise, how could this guy escape from the pursuit of close to 109th heaven god realm experts? At this thought, the faces of the geniuses turned unpleasant. Many geniuses were even angrier and started to curse Wang Mang on the spot, especially when they saw Wang Mang smiling. These geniuses mocked and humiliated him. "I thought you were so tough. You handed over the king token so easily. Useless. You made us happy for nothing. You're too useless. Trash. If I had the king token, I would definitely not hand it over. Everyone be careful. This guy is not to be trifled with. Don't be deceived by his appearance. Hee. Not to be trifled with? I think he's just for show. He can't even withstand a single blow." All of a sudden, the geniuses present began to mock Wang Mang without the slightest bit of restraint. However, there were a small number of geniuses who were still unwilling. They chased after the geniuses with ninth heaven god realm strength and left. At the same time, hearing the mocking of the geniuses present, Wang Mang still had a smile on his face. In the next moment, Wang Mang formed seals with both hands and instantly formed a spatial boundary. The reason why he was so patient previously was to accumulate the power of law to set up the boundary. Hence, under the accumulation of the power of law, he was able to set up the boundary in an instant. In fact, this group of geniuses only reacted after the boundary was set up. Seeing that Wang Mang was setting up the boundary alone, the geniuses present panicked. After calming down, the group of geniuses began to laugh out of anger. They felt that Wang Mang was overestimating himself. There were a total of 1,500 sky prides present. More than half of them were late-stage god emperors. But Wang Mang still wanted to set up a barrier to kill them? What a joke! For a moment, many prodigies began to mock him without restraint. This kid wants to set up a barrier to hunt us down? Ha! What a joke! There are nearly 1,500 of us here. Even if we stand there and let you kill us, can you kill us all? If we join forces, we can easily kill you. Unfortunately, no matter how much they mocked, Wang Mang only smiled and did not say a word. However, his hands did not stop moving. Endless power of law gushed out from his body and reinforced the spatial barrier. Furthermore, as time passed, the spirit formation Wang Mang set up became more and more solid. The spirit formation could be seen with the naked eye. It was as thick as a city wall. This was almost equivalent to the joint effort of several ninth heaven god emperors. After feeling that the spirit formation was more or less complete, Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction. Very good. All of you ants are really very confident. Do you really think that I can't do anything to you? That I can't kill you? Today, I'll let you know that the difference of a millimeter is like the difference between clouds and mud. After saying that, under the astonished gazes of the crowd, Wang Mang once again transformed into his true body, the giant python. At the same time, Wang Mang also displayed his sacred art, ancient demon tyrannical body. Then, he recklessly headed towards the group of heaven's favorites. Seeing this scene, the group of sky prides roared angrily. Everyone be careful. This giant python is quite capable. Don't let him kill you one by one. That's right. It's this guy who killed so many sky prides previously. So what? Even a genius with the battle prowess of a ninth heavenly layer god emperor is merely an ant in front of us. As soon as he finished speaking, all the prodigies present began to form hand seals and unleash their divine abilities at Wang Mang. Bang, 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 along with a series of earth-shattering sounds. Sacred arts that covered the sky and covered the earth swept over. This terrifying sacred art made even Wang Mang's scalp tingle. However, Wang Mang did not think that these guys could hurt him. Hence, Wang Mang still chose to face the thousands of sky prides head-on. Rumble, rumble. Sacred arts rained down like rain. The power was unparalleled. Even Wang Mang was still drowned in the sacred arts. Moreover, under the bombardment of the sacred arts, Wang Mang realized that he could not move an inch. Every sacred art bombarded his body. They all stopped him from moving forward. Under the accumulation of the sacred arts, although Wang Mang was not injured, his body was sent flying far away by the aftershock. Bang! After that, Wang Mang's body uncontrollably smashed onto the barrier. In an instant, Wang Mang, who had transformed into a giant python, was in a very sorry state. It was worth mentioning that. However, these sacred arts still did not hurt Wang Mang. However, they actually made him feel intense pain. His entire body felt like it was about to explode. He was completely immune to the pain of the physical body. After all, he was immune to the attacks of the same level. However, he was not immune to the pain of the physical body. In other words, he had never felt pain before. However, Wang Mang felt pain now. This proved that even if it was a top physical body sacred art, once it reached its limit, it would also feel pain. This also made Wang Mang open his bloody mouth and roar angrily. After that, Wang Mang charged forward again. Moreover, he did not choose to be stubborn this time. He did not take on the sacred arts of all the prodigies head-on. On the contrary, he easily twisted his body and dodged the sacred arts. Then, he opened his bloody mouth and charged into the group of prodigies. In the next moment, miserable cries could be heard. It turned out that too many prodigies had died under his bloody mouth. Wang Mang actually swallowed no less than 50 prodigies in one gulp. Seeing this scene, many prodigies felt their scalps go numb. This was simply a one-sided massacre. However, this was not the end. Wang Mang was like a wolf in a flock of sheep. He opened his bloody mouth and kept swallowing the prodigies. Every time he opened his bloody mouth, he could always swallow dozens of prodigies. At the same time, the system's voice was like raindrops. After it sounded in Wang Mang's mind, it did not stop. It had only been a short while since Wang Mang left. He had already swallowed hundreds of prodigies. In fact, all the prodigies could not imagine. If they continued to let Wang Mang kill and devour, how many prodigies were present? Would they eventually die in his bloody mouth? For a moment, all the prodigies in the enchantment, one after another, they were all terrified. They fled in all directions, not daring to gather together. Because if they dared to gather together, this ferocious black python covered in blood, it would open its bloody mouth and take their lives. At the same time, Wang Mang, who was crazily killing the group of prodigies, he was so excited by the killing that he went completely crazy. Awesome. This was a F***King massacre. This was the best moment of his hunting. There were a large number of prodigies in this enchantment. Once he could devour more than half of them, he would be able to become a legendary prodigy. Once he could devour all of them, he would definitely be able to compete for supremacy in the future. Chapter 830. This was not Wang Mang's nonsense. Close to 2,000 geniuses. If he could kill all of them, it would be easy for him to become a legend. He could even get a huge amount of talent points before becoming a supreme genius, and a huge amount of energy points. The geniuses present were not weak. The weakest was a middle-stage God Emperor. Even if it was a small amount, it would accumulate. It would also allow him to get a huge amount of energy points. This was also the reason why Wang Mang was so excited. He even admired his own decision. Using the fake king's order, he lured away the strongest ninth heaven god emperor geniuses with battle prowess. Then, he killed these geniuses without any scruples. If he did not have enough intelligence, how could he do it? I'm really a genius. This was Wang Mang's proud thought at this moment. After regaining his senses, Wang Mang opened his bloody mouth again and pounced on this group of geniuses. For a moment, all kinds of roars, screams, and roars sounded. Save me! Ah, this damned Wang Mang. I won't let you go even if I become a ghost. My big brother is a legend. Let me go. Otherwise, you're dead. No, I want to become a supreme. How can I die? I'm not resigned to this. This kid really deserves to die. He treats us like pigs and slaughters us. He's too arrogant. F***CKU. Even if I self-destruct, I'll definitely not let you devour me. At this moment, this group of geniuses was completely crazy in the face of Wang Mang's continuous devouring. And the more extreme geniuses even chose to self-destruct when they had no other choice. Because if this continued, more and more of them would die. Wang Mang had devoured countless geniuses so far. Roughly counting, the number of geniuses was probably no less than 500. One could imagine how crazy Wang Mang was. Because at this moment, Wang Mang could no longer listen to anything. No matter if it was a genius with a background or a genius who threatened him. He would treat them all equally and devour them all. As for offending an even stronger Lamita prodigy, so be it. These fellows posed no threat to him. Furthermore, Wang Mang was confident that it was only a matter of time before he broke through to the Lamita realm. Hence, even if the other party was the son of the legend of myths prodigy, there was no need to mention the fact that the other party was acquainted with him. Wang Mang also killed him without hesitation. In short, no matter who it was useless. But at this moment, Wang Mang suddenly realized something. There were many peak 8th heavenly layer god emperor geniuses. Unexpectedly, they also began to attack and kill each other. Of course, a genius who still had the guts to make a move at a time like this. Wang Mang also realized that it was those prodigies with a strong foundation who had a physical body. This kind of prodigy had the potential to be invincible in the same realm. If he broke through to the 9th heavenly god emperor realm, he would definitely be one of the stronger geniuses among the 9th heavenly god emperors. Wang Mang could only turn a blind eye to this, because there were still thousands of geniuses waiting for him to kill in the enchantment. But the actions of a few prodigies angered Wang Mang. There were 3 prodigies who forcefully increased their strength and also began to kill other prodigies crazily. Obviously, they also knew that if they killed enough prodigies, even if they forcefully increased their strength, they would only gain and not lose. Therefore, these 3 prodigies who had physical body divine abilities chose to forcefully increase their strength to kill other prodigies. Moreover, although their speed of killing prodigies was not much faster than Wang Mang, it was not much slower than Wang Mang either. In just the time it took for an incense stick to burn, each of them had already killed dozens of prodigies. If they continued to kill, more than half of the prodigies here would be killed by them, because Wang Mang alone could not win against the 3 of them. In his rage, Wang Mang directly gave up on killing prodigies. Then, Wang Mang pounced towards the 3 prodigies. The 3 of you are really courting death. After hearing Wang Mang's deafening roar, the 3 prodigies finally recovered from the excitement of killing prodigies. When they saw Wang Mang opening his bloody mouth and charging towards them, the 3 prodigies immediately spread out. One of the prodigies was not afraid at all. He rushed up and fought Wang Mang in close combat. Relying on his small and nimble body, he threw a few punches at Wang Mang. At the same time, he did not forget to sneer. Do you think I'm afraid of you? After increasing my strength, I, Zhan Tian, am not afraid of you at all. Hearing that, Wang Mang was instantly enraged. This damned ant, how dare he be so arrogant in front of him? In the next moment, Wang Mang transformed into his human form and shot toward Zhan Tian. However, seeing Wang Mang rushing towards him, Zhan Tian was not afraid and also rushed towards him. In the next moment, the two of them collided directly, their fists landing on each other's flesh. They could not wait to shatter each other's flesh. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had already exchanged more than 100 blows. They went back and forth, bombarding each other more than 100 times. However, the two of them were unable to determine the winner. Don't forget, Jean Tian was a prodigy with a physical superpower. Now that he had forcefully increased his strength, he was naturally not much different from Wang Mang's current state. The reason why he forcefully increased his strength now was because Jean Tian knew that he would have to increase his strength sooner or later. How could he escape without increasing his strength? How could he leave without increasing his strength? Instead of that, he naturally increased his strength early on. Moreover, he also joined the hunt for prodigies. That was because there were indeed enough prodigies present. As long as he killed enough, he could easily earn back the price of increasing his strength. He could even obtain a huge amount of talent points. Why not? It could be said that these three prodigies chose to forcefully increase their strength because of this idea. As long as they killed enough, they could make up for the price they paid and even earn more. Therefore, of course, they were not afraid of Wang Mang. In a situation where they were at the same level of combat power, they were not much different from Wang Mang. In fact, if they did not count the Supreme Being Mask, their accumulation of foundation was even higher than Wang Mang's. Don't forget, the reason why Wang Mang had such battle prowess was because of the Sovereign Mask. However, they relied on themselves and the support of prodigies. They were much stronger than Wang Mang. At this moment, Wang Mang suddenly felt a few auras that suddenly became extremely powerful. Wang Mang looked sideways and saw another 6 prodigies with the battle strength of an 8th Heaven Emperor God forcibly increasing their strength. Their battle strength instantly soared to the 9th Heaven Emperor God realm. It could be said that they were not inferior to Wang Mang at all. These guys all had physical superpowers and methods to increase their strength. To put it bluntly, they all had the qualifications of a legendary prodigy. But in this way, there were already as many as 10 prodigies present whose battle strength was not inferior to Wang Mang's. Even if they killed all of these prodigies, it would not be enough. These prodigies who forcibly increased their strength were all legendary prodigies. If they could not devour about 200 prodigies alone, they would definitely not be able to make up for the price of increasing their strength. For a moment, Wang Mang's face was extremely ugly. Although he had expected it, Wang Mang did not expect it. So many prodigies would forcibly increase their strength and join the hunt. Now, even if he wanted to stop it, he could not do so. At this moment, War Sky, who was still fighting with Wang Mang, sneered arrogantly. What? Now, you still want to use your own strength to stop me? There are more than 300 prodigies with the battle strength of an 8th Heaven Emperor God realm present. Among them, there are at least 100 who can forcibly increase their strength. In addition, there are at least 30 who have physical superpowers. Now, how many do you think you can stop? Hearing that, Wang Mang's face was extremely ugly. Seeing Warski's arrogant look, Wang Mang said with a ferocious expression, I may not be able to stop them, but I can stop you. I can make it so that you won't be able to kill a single genius. I can make you suffer a great loss by forcibly increasing your strength this time. I can spend the rest of the time specifically targeting you. Chapter 831. War Sky, who was originally extremely arrogant. After hearing Wang Mang's words, his face turned green. He actually wanted Wang Mang to hurry up and hunt down the prodigies. There was no need to make things difficult for him. But Wang Mang actually said such vicious words? Is this guy still a King human? Was he specifically targeting him? If Wang Mang really did that, he would indeed suffer heavy losses, and his cultivation level might even drop. If he was specifically targeted by Wang Mang, he would not end up well. But he did not have a deep grudge against Wang Mang. In Warski's opinion, since he can't stop it, everyone should make money together. Everyone should kill prodigies together. Good. Wasn't this a happy ending for everyone? Was there need to target him like this? They did not have any deep grudges. Therefore, when he saw Wang Mang's ferocious and cold look, War Sky was really a little afraid that Wang Mang would go crazy and target him. Therefore, his face was full of depression. Fellow Taoist, you and I don't have any deep grudges. Why do you have to be like this? Isn't it good for everyone to hunt prodigies together and mind their own business? Also, I'm not the only one. I won't let you eat alone. Fellow Taoist, you can't eat alone in this situation, unless your strength has reached the first firmament of the supreme realm. Hearing this, Wang Mang's expression eased a little. He also knew that this was indeed the case. But the problem was that this guy's attitude was very important. He was so arrogant that Wang Mang really wanted to target him. However, in the face of benefits, Wang Mang did not want to waste time with this guy. Therefore, Wang Mang glanced coldly at War Sky and threatened coldly, "Be careful. If you dare to be so arrogant again, I'll target you specifically in the future." After saying that, Wang Mang transformed into a huge python and charged towards the prodigies again. On the other hand, Zhang Tian didn't look too good in the face of Wang Mang's threat, but he didn't dare to say anything. After all, he also knew that if Wang Mang specifically targeted him, it would really be very difficult. Then, he no longer hesitated and joined the hunt. At this moment, if someone were to observe, they would discover that there were demons dancing wildly within the barrier. The geniuses fled in all directions, but there were still 15 of them hunting. That's right, there were 6 more geniuses. They forcefully increased their strength and joined the hunting team. Among them were even Wang Mang and other members of the alliance. Hua Yunfei, Lu Han, and Zhang Jia were among them. Compared to the hunting speed of these prodigies, Wang Mang, on the other hand, was faster. This was because Wang Mang's target group was the weaker prodigies. The 500 geniuses that Wang Mang killed previously were basically all middle-stage God Emperor geniuses. Therefore, after Wang Mang successfully killed close to 200 more prodigies, Wang Mang's eyes lit up. Currently, there were very few prodigies left. After all, Wang Mang had killed 700 prodigies by himself. It could be said, he had basically hunted down most of the weaker middle-stage God Emperor geniuses. Now, there were only 300 Heaven's Prides left. In other words, the remaining few hundred prodigies had been divided up by the 15 prodigies. This resulted in the number of prodigies left in the barrier to be very few. Hence, other than those who were killed, there was also a portion of them who escaped. Of these remaining 300 over prodigies, Wang Mang didn't have high expectations. He only needed to kill a few hundred more. But now it wasn't so easy for Wang Mang to kill these prodigies. There were a total of 300 over prodigies. There were still 15 other prodigies with the same combat strength who were participating in the hunt. Hence, it was not bad for Wang Mang to kill 5 each time. But in reality, Wang Mang would indeed gain something each time he killed a group of prodigies. But it was impossible for him to devour dozens of prodigies each time he killed. At most, he could devour a few prodigies each time he killed, because these prodigies wouldn't gather in a large group. They were very scattered. In the end, no matter if it was Wang Mang or the other prodigies who were hunting, they could only hunt them down one by one. And the remaining prodigies were very strong. Without exception, they were all prodigies with the combat strength of a late-stage God Emperor. Precisely because of this group of prodigies wasn't so easy to kill. After all, these prodigies who could survive until now were quite capable. Just like this, in the blink of an eye, another few hours passed. At this moment, the prodigies among them. There were only slightly more than 100 prodigies left. But no matter if it was Wang Mang or the other prodigies, they didn't continue to attack. Instead, they stopped, because these remaining prodigies were all prodigies with the combat strength of an 8th heaven God Emperor. Furthermore, these prodigies all had techniques that could forcefully increase their combat strength, or some techniques that could strengthen their fleshly body. If they continued to attack, these prodigies would definitely increase their combat strength forcefully. For a moment, more than 10 prodigies who were hunting all looked at Wang Mang. If Wang Mang continued to attack, they would obviously continue to attack too. Although it was hard to kill the remaining prodigies, it wasn't bad to force them to increase their combat strength forcefully. Clearly, they were very willing to do this kind of thing that harmed others for their own benefit. At the same time, Wang Mang also decided to continue attacking after a slight hesitation. These guys, it was very difficult for him to kill them, but if he could exhaust them or force them to increase their combat strength, or even make their realms drop, this was simply harming others for his own benefit. Wang Mang was very happy to see this. At this thought, under the astonished gazes of countless prodigies, Wang Mang once again turned into a giant python and rushed towards the group of prodigies. Similarly, seeing Wang Mang attack, the remaining 15 geniuses of the hunter tribe made their moves too. Seeing this, the remaining geniuses were enraged. For a moment, these prodigies were even more furious. They roared at Wang Mang. "You've gone too far. Do you really think we're afraid of you? Damn it. These guys want to force us to increase our combat strength forcefully. They're deliberately exhausting us and causing us to suffer great losses. This group of bastards is really shameless. Let's increase our combat strength together and kill all of them. Kill this guy. If he doesn't want us to have a good time, then we won't have a good time either. If we die, we die together." Obviously, this group of prodigies was completely furious. In the next moment, Wang Mang saw a scene that made him dumbfounded. The powerful auras of the prodigies soared. These prodigies all chose to increase their combat strength forcefully. These auras all reached the combat strength of a ninth heaven god emperor. And the number of prodigies who chose to increase their combat strength was still increasing. The battle power of 10 god emperors was at the ninth heaven. The battle power of 30 god emperors was at the ninth heaven. The battle power of 50 god emperors was at the ninth heaven. 79th heaven god emperors. Chapter 832. In the blink of an eye. At this moment, more than half of the prodigies had chosen to forcibly increase their strength. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang was completely dumbfounded. He thought that these guys would definitely not give up without putting up a fight, but he did not expect that they would actually anger so many prodigies and forcibly increase their strength. In the next moment, Wang Mang immediately turned around and ran without hesitation, because he had already achieved his goal of harming others without benefiting himself. Similarly, the other 15 hunting prodigies also turned around and ran, each faster than the other. Obviously, they had no intention of competing with these guys. Their ultimate goal was to force these guys to forcibly increase their strength too. In this way, they could benefit themselves at the expense of others. After all, there were hundreds of prodigies in the ninth heaven. Even if they attacked together, they would not be able to defeat them. At the same time, Wang Mang even transformed into his human form. As he raised his hand, terrifying and vast nomological laws whizzed out. In the blink of an eye, he continuously blasted out several nomological giant palms, bombarding the space barrier. But what made Wang Mang depressed was that he could not break the barrier at all. This was mainly because he had used all his strength to set up the barrier back then. Later, the other hunting prodigies also set up the barrier. This also caused the barrier to become indestructible. Even if Wang Mang attacked with all his strength, he could not break it open. If this was to let Wang Mang break the barrier alone, it would probably take at least a few incense sticks to burn. Fortunately, at this moment, the 15 prodigies behind him also made their moves. After all, everyone was about to leave the barrier now. Otherwise, would they really fight with this group of furious prodigies? In the next moment, overwhelming nomological giant palms swept out. Bang, 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 rumble. And then the other prodigies attacked with all their strength. This was an indestructible barrier. Finally, it shattered with a sound and completely collapsed. Then, Wang Mang did not hesitate and took the lead to rush out of the barrier. The other prodigies were unwilling to fall behind and followed closely behind. Similarly, nearly 100 enraged prodigies in the ninth heaven chased after them. At the same time, they did not forget to roar angrily. "F***, you don't run. Today, I will pay the price. I'll kill all of you too. You bastards, I'm going to kill you. Today, we will fight to the death. These bastards caused us to suffer heavy losses. They must pay a painful price. Even if we die, we will drag you down with us. These bastards deserve to die. It was obvious that the geniuses were enraged. Most importantly, Wang Mang and the other 15 hunting prodigies were too much of a bully. He clearly knew that he couldn't kill them. Why did he have to be so ruthless towards them, forcing them to increase their strength and drop their realms? He had never met such a cowardly person before. After all, they did not compete with Wang Mang and the others for the chosen ones and the hunt. In the end, after Wang Mang and his gang killed the prodigies, they still wanted to harm them. One could imagine the fury in their hearts. Unfortunately, in the face of the roars of these geniuses, whether it was Wang Mang or the other prodigies, no one bothered to pay attention to them at all. Moreover, after the group of prodigies escaped from the barrier, they all scattered and fled in different directions. This also caused the enraged Sky Prides chasing after him to scatter in all directions. But he didn't know if it was because of his character or because Wang Mang was too ostentatious earlier. There were as many as 30 prodigies who chose to chase after him. One had to know that, including Wang Mang, there were 16 prodigies who had been hunted together. If they scattered, at most, each of them would be chased by 7 or 8 prodigies. But Wang Mang's character was off the charts. There were more than 30 prodigies chasing after him. It made him doubt his life. What the F***CK? Could it be that I'm more handsome? The depressed Wang Mang began to speed up, and he flew towards the depths of the great wilderness forest. But this group of prodigies had forcefully increased their strength. Therefore, their speed was not much different. Wang Mang wanted to shake these guys off. It was really difficult. He probably couldn't do it in a short time. But Wang Mang was not in a hurry at all. He had hunted more than 700 prodigies. How bad could Wang Mang's mood be? Therefore, with this thought in mind, the two sides immediately started a chase. This chase lasted for 2 full days. 2 days later, this group of prodigies who were chasing after Wang Mang reluctantly gave up because they wanted to continue the chase, but they couldn't forcefully increase their strength to continue the chase. If they forcefully increased their strength again, they would completely become fish on the chopping block. Therefore, after 2 days of chasing, this group of prodigies had already left one after another. Similarly, after Wang got rid of the pursuit of this group of prodigies, he also began to look for a place to cultivate in seclusion in the great wilderness forest. After all, his harvest this time was too bountiful. He had killed a total of 7,800 prodigies. Just the energy value alone was more than 100 billion. As for how much talent value he had obtained, Wang Mang didn't know. Therefore, he urgently needed to sort out his harvest. Soon, Wang Mang found a hidden cave. After setting up the enchantment, Wang Mang then entered the cave without any worries. After entering the cave, Wang Mang sat cross-legged. Then, he happily muttered to himself, "System. Open my personal information." The next moment, personal information appeared in front of his eyes. Wang Mang, disciple of Sage to be, ancestor of myriad devil, type, ancient fiendish python, limit 800 meters, realm, first heaven of Emperor God, legendary prodigy, physique, HP 30,000, length 760 meters, width 37 meters, weight 150 million tons. Top magical powers, ancient demon overlord body, perfection, devour, perfection, 3 lives supreme Buddha, mastery, wrath of gods and demons, perfection. Space, 1 bottle of forgotten love water, 1 fallen saint pill, 1/6 taste emperor pill, fallen god cannon, 3 one-time rank 5 top bad luck card X1, immortal king treasure chest X1, immortal king blind box X1, random draw chance X1. Equipment, top world multicolored stone X1, divine martial sword, immortal emperor mask, holy emperor mask, talent value 1880/1500. Energy value 245 billion/250 billion. After reading his personal information, even Wang Meng couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. He didn't expect that his accumulated talent value would be so much. He had killed more than 700 prodigies, but the talent value he had obtained had reached more than 1,200 points. This instantly gave him the capital to advance to the legendary prodigy level. Now, he could advance to become a legendary prodigy at any time. More importantly, his energy value was about to evolve. In addition, he still had the treasure chest, blind box, and so on. This time, after sorting out his strength, he would definitely be able to make up for his foundation. At that time, Wang Meng, who had the king's token, he could wander back and forth on the path of conquest. He would crazily harvest a large number of prodigies and begin to break through to the supreme being. Chapter 833. At the thought of this, Wang Meng couldn't help but feel high-spirited. He was all smiles, as if he was bathing in the spring breeze. Then, Wang Meng said happily, "System, open the immortal king-level treasure chest." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully opened the immortal king-level treasure chest." "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 5 billion energy points." "Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtain a 10,000-year peach wood sword." "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a snow dress." "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 10 points of talent points." "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 10 points of talent points." "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a 10,000-year Saturn peach." "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained a 90,000-year thunderstruck wood." After listening to the system's announcement, Wang Meng was instantly dumbfounded. Crap, this was too lousy. Could it be that there was such a huge difference between having a top-notch good luck card and not having one? When he had a top-notch good luck card, an immortal king-level blind box would give him hundreds of billions of energy points. In the end, damn it, there was no good luck card. This immortal king-level treasure chest was simply more lousy than before. At the thought of this, Wang Meng was extremely depressed. This immortal king-level treasure chest was wasted just like that. Just thinking about it made Wang Meng's heart ache very much. After adjusting for a while, Wang Meng's emotions calmed down slightly. Then, Wang Meng said to himself helplessly, "System, open the immortal king-level blind box." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully activated the immortal king-grade blind box." "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 3 billion energy points." After hearing the system's first announcement, Wang Meng finally breathed a sigh of relief. This Celestial King Grade blind box was much more reliable than the Celestial King Grade treasure chest from before. With that thought in mind, Wang Meng was in a good mood as he waited for the system to announce the second prize. 1 minute later, the system's voice sounded for the second time, frowny-faced. "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 2 billion energy values." After hearing the system's announcement for the second time, Wang Meng was a little disappointed. The energy value this time was really too little, but at least it didn't turn out to be trash. Thinking of this, Wang Meng comforted himself and continued to wait for the prize to be announced. Another minute passed. The system's voice sounded for the third time, frowny-faced. "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 5 billion energy points." After hearing the system's voice, Wang Meng nodded in satisfaction. "That's right. Very good." This was only the third time the prizes had been given out. He had already obtained 10 billion energy points. It seemed that the Celestial King Grade blind box was still quite powerful. Another minute passed. The system's voice sounded for the fourth time, frowny-faced. "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 6 billion energy points." "Oh, good. It was more than the last time." Wang Meng was instantly overjoyed. He was looking forward to this celestial king grade blind box. Under Wang Mang's anticipation, another minute passed. The system's voice sounded for the fifth time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 4 billion energy points. Obtaining 20 billion energy points in 5 draws? SOSO. Wang Mang nodded. He continued to wait for the prize to be announced. Another minute passed. The system's voice sounded for the sixth time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. You have obtained a 5th stage, low-level treasure, a banana fan. Wang Mang was speechless. These things were no longer of any use to him. A 5th stage low-level treasure was used by a golden immortal. What use did he have for it? To use it as a fan? Just as Wang Mang was complaining, the system's voice sounded for the 7th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 10 billion energy points. Wang Mang's eyes lit up, feeling a little surprised. He thought that the system would pull him out of the lottery after this. After all, including the 10 billion energy points, this celestial king grade blind box had already given him 30 billion energy points. It could be said that it was very impressive. In the past, when he did not use the top-notch good luck card, it was already good enough for in celestial king grade blind box to get 10 to 20 billion energy points. This time, it actually gave him 30 billion energy points. It could be said that it was very good. Just as Wang Mang was secretly satisfied, the system's voice sounded for the 8th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained Wu Zetian's original underwear. Good heavens. This was the last draw. Why aren't you giving me an underwear? Wang Mang was speechless again, but he was used to it. This underwear series. Did he not get enough? Besides, this celestial king grade blind box also made Wang Mang very satisfied. Therefore, Wang Mang was still in a very good mood. But after thinking about it carefully, Wang Mang was a little depressed. This celestial king grade treasure chest plus celestial king grade blind box. The total energy points was only 35 billion. He had only accumulated 280 billion energy points. After another evolution, he would be back to square one. Sigh, forget it. Let's evolve first. After evolving, I can get rid of the supreme mass support as soon as possible. When the time comes, there will definitely be a place for me in the path of conquering the heavens. Thinking of this, Wang Mang prepared to evolve. But at this moment, Wang Mang suddenly remembered. He seemed to have one more random lottery chance that he did not use. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was immediately interested. Although it was a random lottery chance, it was unlikely to draw something good, but it was useless for him to keep it. Moreover, he had not drawn a random lottery for a long time. Thinking up to this point, Wang Mang joyfully muttered in his heart, "System, let's use the random lottery chance." In the next moment, the system's voice sounded again, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully used the random lottery chance. As soon as the system finished speaking, a lucky compass appeared in Wang Mang's mind. However, the lucky compass of this lottery was different. This lucky compass was actually a square lottery wheel. Moreover, there were actually 12 prizes in the prize grid. It was very different from the original 9-palace lucky compass in the past. Moreover, these 12 prizes. It simply made Wang Mang dumbfounded. They were frowny face prize 1 king. Note, after winning the lottery, you could draw again, and the reward of the prize will be increased by 100 times. Prize 2, 3 in a row. Note, after winning the lottery, you can draw again, and the prize of the lottery, the first prize, the second prize, and the prize of the lottery, including the prize of the lottery, will all be taken away. Prize 3, 1,000 talent points. Prize 4, 1 billion energy points. Prize 5, 10 billion energy points. Prize 6, 100 talent points. Prize 7, 80 billion energy points. Prize 8, Immortal King Level Treasure Chest X1. Prize 9, Immortal King Level Blind Box X1. Prize 10, Immortal Emperor Level Treasure Chest X1. Prize 11, Supreme Experience Card X1. Prize 12, Peak Rank 5 One-Time Good Luck Card X1. Chapter 834. It could be said that these 12 prizes. This was also the reason why Wang Mang was dumbfounded. This was just a random lottery draw. Wasn't this a little too awesome? Moreover, why did this prize look a little like the fruit machine that he used to play when he was young? If he were to draw a king and then draw a talent value of 1,000 points, didn't this mean that he would be given 100,000 talent value directly? This was too crazy. And the 3 consecutive prizes were also very awesome. In this kind of lottery that was similar to driving a train. If it was a good prize, the harvest would be huge. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was extremely excited. This was probably because he hadn't drawn a random lottery for a long time. That was why the system would produce so many good prizes. Thinking of this, Wang Mang also began to look forward to it. He didn't want to ask for too much. Give him a king's prize, or give him 3 consecutive prizes. That would be good too. Under Wang Mang's anticipation and excitement, the 12-square grid prize will begin to spin. At the same time, Wang Mang was also extremely nervous. If there weren't any good prizes, he wouldn't be nervous. But the problem was that the prizes this time were really good. Even if it gave him a top-notch rank 5 good luck card, it would be good too. Soon, a minute later, the spinning speed of the lucky compass slowed down. Finally, under Wang Mang's extremely nervous gaze, the Wheel of Fortune finally came to a stop. At the same time, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. Congratulations, host. You have successfully obtained 3 consecutive prizes. Continue with the lucky draw. Following the system's voice, Wang Mang was overjoyed. Good. Awesome. 3 consecutive prizes. He directly received 3 prizes. No matter which prize he drew, he wouldn't lose out. The next moment, 3 bright grids appeared on the lucky draw wheel and began to spin rapidly. Another minute passed. Only then did the spinning wheel slow down. The system's voice sounded frowny-faced. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 10 billion energy points. Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained 1 billion energy values. Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 100 talent points. Ding. Accumulate to meet the evolution conditions. Do you want to start evolution? No. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang felt somewhat regretful. These 3 prizes were definitely the trashiest prizes that a train driver could get. Of course, it wasn't too bad. After all, it was just a random draw. But if there's a chance next time, he would have to think more about getting a chance at the random draw. This thing's prize was really awesome. Just opening it casually was already more awesome than opening a Celestial King tier treasure chest. Thinking up to this point, Wang Mang was naturally tempted. This was the biggest gain of this trip. That would be 10 billion energy points plus 100 days of endowment points. Its value alone was comparable to that of a Celestial King grade blind box. With this thought, Wang Mang's mood became much better. Now, his accumulated energy value had reached 290 billion. Even after evolving, there was still some energy left. Thinking of this, Wang Mang silently said in his heart, "System, begin evolution." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. 250 billion energy values have been successfully deducted. Beginning evolution. Then, Wang Mang completely lost consciousness during the evolution. A week later, only then did Wang Mang slowly awaken from his evolution. After waking up this time, the aura on Wang Mang's body, it didn't become more terrifying, but it became much thicker and stronger. This was because Wang Mang's battle strength didn't increase. He had already entered the stage of turning from illusion to reality. The so-called turning from illusion to reality was to wait for his strength to soar. Let the Supreme Mask completely lose its effect on him. Wait until he didn't need the Supreme Mask to increase his battle strength. When he still had the battle strength of a peak 9th Heaven God Emperor, then Wang Mang would be able to enter the extreme state if he made another breakthrough. At this moment, Wang Mang still hadn't stepped into the extreme state. He had only reached the 2nd Heaven God Emperor realm when he broke through. Including the support of the legendary geniuses, his true battle strength, without relying on the supreme mask, was only at the 6th heaven god emperor realm. But this was also a big improvement. Now, the supreme mask could increase his battle strength to the 5th heaven. But now it could only increase his battle strength to the 3rd heaven god emperor realm. In other words, even if Wang Mang gave up wearing the god emperor mask and the devil emperor mask, he still had the battle strength of a peak 9th heaven god emperor realm. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was in a good mood. From illusion to reality, he was only 3 levels away. Once he chose to break through to the legendary genius level. From illusion to reality, there would only be 2 levels left. Moreover, Wang Mang could discover that although his realm didn't increase this time, his foundation was stronger. His body had the ability to accommodate the power of law and was more compatible with it. Right now, his body was like the carrier of the power of law. All kinds of power of law didn't reject him at all. This was the change of breaking through. Every time he evolved, Wang Mang's body's affinity with the power of law would be better. This was because every stage 5 prodigy was an existence that could transform into a part of heaven and earth. But the power of law had another name. It didn't belong to a world, but to the myriad of worlds. The power of law might not be as good as the heavenly Tao power of some top upper-class worlds. But the heavenly Tao power referred to the power of a single world. The power of law was the mainstream energy system of the myriad of worlds. All in all, it sounded like the power of law was inferior to the power of heavenly Tao. But in fact, it was more popular in the myriad of worlds. Any power of heaven and earth was the general name of the power of law. As for the power of law, it was the power of great Tao. But the power of great Tao was more difficult to control and use. To put it bluntly, even the current rank 5 couldn't play with the power of great Tao. But Wang Mang could roughly guess that the cultivation in the future would definitely be the power of great Tao to reach a higher level. After all, even the immortal Qi and the Emperor God realm were eliminated and transferred to the power of law. In that case, it was understandable that the power of law would be sublimated to the power of great Tao in the future. After coming back to his senses, Wang Mang also began to be curious. Would his next breakthrough still increase by 50 billion energy value increments? Thinking of this, Wang Mang silently said in his heart, "System, open my personal information." The next moment, his personal information appeared before his eyes. Wang Mang, disciple of the sage-to-be, ancestor of the myriad demons, type, ancient fiendish python, limit 800 meters, realm, 2nd heaven of the Emperor God, legendary genius, body, HP 35,000, length 770 meters, width 37 meters, weight 160 million tons. Top magical powers, ancient fiend tyrannical body, perfection, devouring god technique, perfection, 3 lives Buddha, perfection, wrath of the gods and demons, perfection, space, 1 bottle of forgotten love water, 1 falling saint pill, 1 6 flavor emperor pill, 3 falling god cannon, 1 one-time rank 5 top bad luck card. Equipment, top world multicolored stone X1, divine martial sword, supreme mask, talent, 1, 980/1, 500, can be upgraded to legendary genius. Energy value, 41 billion/230 billion. Chapter 835. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang nodded his head in satisfaction, although it was still an increase of 50 billion energy values. But it was good to increase the energy values by more. If it increased by more than 100 billion energy values, Wang Mang would have an even bigger headache. Therefore, after every breakthrough, Wang Mang hoped that the energy values needed to break through next time wouldn't increase too much. At this moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. The host's current situation has been detected. The host is given the following mission to choose from. Mission number 1. Since you are already a legendary genius, you naturally have to go to the 3rd city to hunt. Hunt no less than 100 geniuses. Mission time. Obtain upon completion. Mission reward. 20 billion energy values. Random draw. Chance X1. Immortal King level blind box X1. Mission number 2. Since you are already a legendary genius, you naturally have to go to the third city to hunt. Hunt no less than 2 geniuses. Mission time. Obtain upon completion. Mission reward. 40 billion energy values. Random draw. Chance X1. Immortal King level treasure chest X1. Mission number 3. Since you are already a legendary genius, you naturally have to go to the third city to hunt. Hunt no less than 300 geniuses and enter the Emperor board. Mission time. Obtained upon completion. Mission reward. 60 billion energy values. Random draw. Chance X1. Immortal King level blind box X1. Immortal King level treasure chest X1. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was stunned at first. Then he fell in a deep thought. The system issuing a mission was not out of his expectations. After all, every time his strength increased, if nothing went wrong, there would be a mission issued. However, the rewards of this mission were obvious at a glance. They were all hunting geniuses. Among them, mission number 1 was the simplest and had the least rewards. Mission number 2, hunting geniuses, doubled the rewards, and the rewards were even more. Mission number 3 had the most generous rewards, but it was also the most difficult. It was mainly because of this so-called Emperor board. Wang Mang didn't know what it was at all, but Wang Mang knew that this should be a list. As for what kind of ranking it was, Wang Mang had no idea. He hesitated for a moment. In the end, Wang Mang couldn't hold back his greed. After that, Wang Mang muttered in his heart, "System, I choose the third mission." The next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Congratulations, host. Mission selected successfully. Please complete the mission as soon as possible to receive the reward. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction. Then, Wang Mang took out the king token from his storage space. Ever since he obtained the royal decree, he hadn't had the time to study it. After taking out the title token, it floated in the air around Wang Mang. Just as Wang Mang was sizing up the token, an old voice came from the King Proclamation token. This old man didn't guess wrongly. Among all the heavenly talents, you are the most reliable and extraordinary. You're also the most mysterious. This old man can't see through your origins. After hearing this, Wang Mang was startled. After regaining his senses, he looked at the King Proclamation token in front of him in astonishment and asked, "Are you the one talking?" Hearing this, an old and proud voice came from the King Proclamation token. "Yes, it's me." Hearing this, Wang Mang looked at the token in front of him curiously. He couldn't help but chuckle. "You're really intelligent. I have to say you have a good eye. I also think that I have the potential to become a supreme being. I'm not afraid to tell you. Nearly 2,000 heavenly talents have been hunted down by me. Only 1 in 10 is left. Now that I can become a legendary heavenly talent, I'm close to becoming a supreme being." Speaking of this, Wang Mang felt a little lightheaded. After all, his combat strength not long ago did give Wang Mang something to be proud of. After all, not everyone could hunt so many heavenly talents. Therefore, Wang Mang was a little arrogant. It was inevitable. After hearing Wang Mang's boasting, the King Proclamation token's proud voice came again. "Of course, don't you know how good my eye is? I'm not afraid to tell you. After I was born, I followed a supreme being every time. At the very least, one must be a supreme. In fact, I've even followed the strongest supreme once. From this, you can judge how awesome this old man's vision is." After hearing the King Proclamation token's boasting, Wang Mang was dumbfounded. Good Lord, he made it sound like those heavenly talents not long ago were hunted by him. But Wang Mang still wanted to get some information from this guy, so he couldn't help but ask, "How useful is your King Proclamation token? Also, what is this so-called Emperor ranking? Also, are there different levels of supreme beings?" Obviously, Wang Mang caught some information from the old guy's words. Hearing this, the King Proclamation token's voice came again. I'm very useful. With me, you can use space transmission in the 3rd city, 6th city, 9th city, and 12th city as you wish. At that time, you can hunt those heavenly talents if you wanna, and becoming a supreme being is just around the corner. As for the Emperor ranking you mentioned, it's a list in the path of the heavens. If you can reach the top of the Emperor ranking, then the probability of becoming an invincible supreme is 30%. In addition, there are indeed different levels of supreme beings. After the legendary heavenly talents, there are junior supreme beings, grand supreme beings, and invincible supreme beings. Junior supreme beings have the battle strength of the 7th layer of the extreme realm. Grand supreme beings have the battle strength of the 8th layer of the extreme realm. Invincible supreme beings have the battle strength of the 8th layer of the extreme realm. These are also called the 3 levels of supreme beings. Among them, there are many junior supreme beings in every era. Every era of the grand supreme beings is as dazzling as the stars. There can only be one invincible supreme being in every era in the heavens. Moreover, the invincible supreme being can be recorded in the history books, and time can erase his glory. Moreover, once the 5th step becomes an invincible supreme being, then he will definitely become a supreme being in the 6th step. As for whether he can become an invincible supreme being in the 6th step, I don't know. Speaking up to here, Wang Ling paused for a while and sighed. Alas, actually, it's not a problem for you to become a junior supreme being. However, if you want to become a grand supreme being or even an invincible supreme being, it's too difficult. Because if you want to become an invincible supreme being, it's no longer something you can do by killing heavenly talents. Hearing this, Wang Mang suddenly realized something, but at the same time, he was also a little unhappy. Because from this guy's tone, he was obviously not optimistic about him. What do you mean by I can become a junior supreme being? Grand supreme being? Can't I? Invincible supreme being? Even less chance? Thinking up to here, Wang Mang suddenly said with displeasure, "Didn't you just say that you are optimistic about me? Why are you not optimistic about me now?" Hearing this, Wang Ling's helpless voice sounded. "This old man is optimistic about you becoming a supreme being. You're a junior supreme being, but it's really impossible for you to become a grand supreme being or an invincible supreme being, because this old man really can't see any hope in you. I don't see any invincible belief, invincible momentum, or invincible heart. You don't have any of these 3 basic qualities to become an invincible supreme being. To put it bluntly, if you can become an invincible supreme being, no. If you can become a grand supreme being, this old man will stand upside down and eat shit." Chapter 836. What guy? Mother asterisk cur. Do you have to look down on me like that? Hearing the order to proclaim himself as king, he made a solemn vow. Wang Mang was speechless for a moment. Was this guy so sure that he couldn't become an invincible supreme? All right, there could only be one invincible supreme. Wang Mang accepted this guy's suspicion. But there was more than one great supreme, right? Could it be that Wang Mang wasn't even qualified to become a great supreme? She actually made a solemn vow to him. As long as he became a great supreme, this guy would stand upside down and eat shit. This wasn't very harmful, but it was extremely insulting. He was looking down on him too much. Wang Mang felt that he had been offended. At the same time, Wang Mang was also very angry. Therefore, Wang Mang took a deep breath and said, "All right, old man, you said it. If I become a great supreme, you'll eat shit for me. Otherwise, I'll seal you in a cesspool." After hearing Wang Mang's words, King Ling's old mocking laughter came. "It's not that this old man looks down on you. It's that you're too strange. All legendary geniuses already have some kind of invincible belief. But this old man doesn't see any invincible belief in you. In this old man's eyes, you're greedy for life and unafraid of death. This old man has seen people with your character who can become a lesser supreme. But I've never seen anyone who can become a great supreme, let alone an invincible supreme. Tell me, Do you have the kind of invincible belief that can sweep through everything? No, right? Let me tell you this. This old man once followed a supreme, a real invincible supreme. And, like you, he also came from the sacred emperor continent called Jiangchun. At that time, the geniuses of that era called him the Eternal Supreme, because he successfully left his name in history, even if he just entered the top 100. But this also means that since the birth of the myriad worlds, he is the 90th strongest 5th stage invincible supreme. Since ancient times, there have been less than 100 people who are stronger than him in the same level of battle prowess. Wang Mang was dumbfounded when he heard the imperial decree. F***CK. The nameless sovereign of the sacred emperor continent was called Jiangchun. Moreover, this fellow had reached the point where he would be recorded in the annals of history and leave his name in history. This was a little F***king awesome. To tell the truth, after Wang Mang learned that the supreme martial artist was divided into 3 levels, he was shocked. He still looked down on the 9 heavens supremes of the sacred emperor continent. But who would have thought that this guy had reached the level of invincible supremacy? Furthermore, he had reached the point where his name would be recorded in the annals of history. Just as Wang Mang was still in shock, a complacent voice immediately sounded from the king token. How is it? Are you shocked? Do you know how insignificant you are now? You should know that even invincible supremes can't leave their name in history and be recorded in the annals of history. In 100 eras, among 100 invincible supremes, it's very difficult for one to leave their name in history. Do you know now? Not everyone is qualified to leave their name in history and be recorded in the annals of history. In 100 eras, 100 invincible supremes, it's already good enough for one to be recorded in the annals of history. After listening to the king token's words, Wang Mang fell into deep thought. He didn't expect Jiangchun from the sacred emperor continent to be so strong. But why did Jiangchun fall before reaching the 6th stage? Thinking of this, Wang Mang was very curious. However, Wang Mang didn't ask much. Instead, he asked tentatively, "Since you know that I'm from the sacred emperor continent, why didn't you choose the other geniuses? There are quite a lot of geniuses from the sacred emperor continent, right? There are 4 of them. Why did you choose me? Doesn't this mean that I'm very talented?" After hearing Wang Mang's praise, the king token's helpless voice was heard again. This old man wants it too, mainly because I don't have a choice. Because I'm born at a fixed time. In other words, every king token has a fixed time. The time is different too. Otherwise, this old man will definitely choose the black-robed genius from the sacred emperor continent. A powerful black-robed genius? Wasn't he talking about the strongest prodigy hunter? So this guy can't be born in advance. So he's chosen after he's born? Thinking of this, Wang Mang's face darkened. Damn it, this bastard really doesn't think highly of me. How could he say something like that so blatantly? Doesn't he know how to be more subtle? Thinking of this, Wang Mang was displeased. He asked coldly, "What's your name? Why are you trapped in the king token? Also, you must have something to gain by following me, right?" After hearing Wang Mang's words, the king token fell silent for a while. Then an old voice was heard. "This old man is the true god of the ancients. A long time ago, I was also a genius who fought in all the worlds. Later on, this old man reached the level of lesser supreme. Unfortunately, I lost in the fight to become an invincible supreme. In the end, in order to survive, my primordial spirit and true spirit entered the supreme leaderboard. I survived just now. This is the price of competition, the price of becoming an invincible supreme. Of course, there's also a chance of survival in the supreme leaderboard. There are endless primordial spirits and true spirits inside. 12 king tokens are born in every era. If you can choose your own master and bet on 3 invincible supremes, then you can escape. If the chosen master hasn't even reached the level of lesser supreme, he will be sealed back into the supreme leaderboard, and the chance will be randomly assigned to other primordial spirits and true spirits. If the chosen master has reached the level of lesser supreme, He can continue to transform into a king token in the next era and continue to choose a master. In other words, if you don't live up to expectations and can't even reach the level of lesser supreme, then this old man will be sealed back into the supreme leaderboard and wait for the next illusory opportunity to appear. Because there are too many primordial spirits and true spirits sealed in the supreme leaderboard. Many geniuses who failed in the battle of the dragon, invincible supreme, in the past generations chose to enter the supreme leaderboard after their deaths. This is the price of competing for the invincible supreme. Lesser supreme still has the qualification to live. If a myth supreme fails, they won't even have the chance to live. It can be said that a general success is built on thousands of bones. Hearing this, Wang Mang nodded in realization, but he couldn't help but feel his scalp tingle. Becoming an invincible supreme was too cruel. Countless geniuses in all the worlds. Only one could become an invincible supreme. The rest of the geniuses who failed in the competition. Lesser supreme had the chance to live. Myth geniuses didn't even have the chance to live. If he were to participate in the competition for the invincible supreme now, it would be the same. If he failed in the competition, he would probably die. This also made Wang Mang feel fear in his heart. If he didn't have full confidence, he wouldn't compete for the invincible supreme. But after recalling this guy's name, Wang Mang couldn't help but want to laugh. Bone hyperplasia. This name was too strange. Turning around, Wang Mang suddenly said indifferently, "Okay, I already know. Now I'm going to the third city to hunt down some geniuses." After saying that, without waiting for bone hyperplasia to speak, Wang Mang put him into the storage space. Then, Wang Mang stood up and walked out of the cave. With a wave of his hand, he shattered the barrier. Wang Mang flew toward the middle of the city in high spirits. After a few hours, Wang Mang had already arrived outside the second city gate. It was worth mentioning. Wang Mang found that the number of geniuses had really decreased a lot. In the past, there were more than 2,000 geniuses. But now, there were only 300 of them. But if one looked carefully, one would find a phenomenon. Among these 300 geniuses, there were more than 100 geniuses whose battle power was only at the peak of the seventh heaven of the divine emperor realm. Without guessing, Wang Mang knew that this group of geniuses was definitely the group of geniuses that they had cheated before, because Wang Mang found many familiar geniuses among this group of geniuses. Similarly, after seeing Wang Mang, among this group of geniuses, there were more than 100 geniuses who had hatred on their faces. Their eyes were as if they couldn't wait to cut Wang Mang into pieces. For Wang Mang, the guy who cheated them and caused their realms to drop. Naturally, they had a deep impression of him. It was impossible for them to forget. Wang Mang could even hear quite a few people cursing and swearing. "This bastard, he cheated us so miserably. If it weren't for the fact that I can't kill this guy, I would definitely tear him into pieces. This bastard better not let me develop. Otherwise, I'll definitely make him pay with his blood. If it's possible, I'd rather use my brother's life in exchange for Wang Mang's death. If it's possible, I'd rather use my father's life in exchange for this bastard's death." Chapter 837. Brother, you're ruthless enough. Using your father's life to exchange for this bastard's life? Don't you regret it? Regret my ass. As long as this bastard dies, I'm willing to exchange my parents' lives for his life. You guys are really talented. You're all ruthless people who have cultivated to this stage. I'm ashamed of my inferiority. Are you kidding? If family ties could stop us, how could we have cultivated to this level? That's right. So what if our whole family dies? As long as we're alive, we can create a more prosperous family force anytime. Even if they die, it's easy for us to revive them. Why do we have to place so much importance on family ties? After hearing the crowd's curses, Wang Mang didn't care at all. He stood with his hands behind his back and walked toward the second city. Seeing this scene, many of the geniuses hated Wang Mang and wished they could cut him into pieces. However, these geniuses didn't dare to act rashly in front of Wang Mang. After all, they had already suffered a great loss. It could be said that only the geniuses with Ninth Heaven Emperor God battle strength didn't take Wang Mang seriously, because Wang Mang was still at the same level as them. They weren't afraid of Wang Mang at all. At this moment, the geniuses of the Hunting Alliance rushed forward enthusiastically. Hua Yunfei, who was the leader, smiled and said, "Alliance leader, how's your harvest this time?" Others didn't know about Wang Mang's harvest, but how could he not know? All the geniuses present in the Hunting Alliance basically knew that Wang Mang's harvest was bountiful. After all, Wang Mang had killed 700 to 800 geniuses back then. He could definitely reach the legendary level, even if he couldn't reach the legendary level. But it was definitely only one step away. Because of this, they naturally wanted to get closer to Wang Mang. From their point of view, once Wang Mang broke through to the legendary level, he would definitely reach the extreme state of battle strength. That was also the reason why they were so enthusiastic. But what they didn't know was that Wang Mang was still in the stage of turning from illusion to reality. He was at the level of a mythical genius, but his battle prowess as a Lemeter was still quite far from Wang Mang's. However, Wang Mang wouldn't say it out loud. Seeing Hua Yunfei's eagerness to please him, Wang Mang pretended to be indifferent as he nodded and smiled. "Not bad. Also, I'm preparing to head to the third city. What about you all?" It wasn't that Wang Mang was being courteous. It was just that Hua Yunfei had also broken through to the peak of the ninth sky of the Divine Emperor realm. Now, Hua Yunfei was qualified to be on equal footing with him. Furthermore, if he were to be serious, his foundation was inferior to Hua Yunfei's. At the very least, Hua Yunfei had a solid foundation. He was still in the stage of turning from illusion to reality. Hua Yunfei was stunned when he heard that. As for Wang Mang going to the second city and the third city so quickly, they were shocked. He was somewhat surprised. But after thinking about it, he knew. This was the reason why Wang Mang wanted to leave. Most of the geniuses here had already been killed. Unless they continued to wait, there would be weaker geniuses. After all, although there were more than 100 geniuses with the combat strength of the seventh sky of the Divine Emperor realm, but there was no doubt that these geniuses had strong foundations. If they were forced into a corner, they would only be forced to increase their combat strength. They would still be unable to take them down. On the contrary, it would give other geniuses a greater chance to kill them. After figuring out the problem, Hua Yunfei fell into silence. He actually didn't want to head to the third city so early, because his original plan was to accumulate enough strength. He could kill his way to the fourth city. Hence, heading to the third city now would conflict with his plan. But if Wang Mang could break through to the extreme realm, he would have a great advantage in the third city. Thinking of this, Hua Yunfei looked at the other alliance members. Seeing that, Zhang Jie and Lu Han looked at each other and shook their heads. "Alliance leader, we won't follow you. Our combat strength is still at the eighth sky of the Divine Emperor realm. Even if we head to the third city, we won't have an advantage. Why don't we stay and continue to accumulate strength?" Hearing that, Wang Mang didn't insist. Moreover, these three guys weren't of much use to Wang Mang. On the contrary, Hua Yunfei had broken through to the ninth sky of the Divine Emperor realm. If they could travel with him, they could help him. Don't forget that he had a grudge against Luo Tiansheng from the Nightmare Alliance. There would definitely be a conflict in the third city, because the Nightmare Alliance wouldn't find trouble with him. He would also find trouble with the Nightmare Alliance. After all, his mission was to kill the Nightmare Alliance. In addition, he had to hunt 300 geniuses in the third city. Also, he had to pass the first stage of the path of conquering the heavens. It could be said that Wang Mang's 3 missions were all in the third city. Naturally, he wouldn't stay here for long. Moreover, there weren't any geniuses to hunt here. He could wait until he was stronger before coming back. After hesitating for a long time, Hua Yunfei gritted his teeth and said, "All right, I'll go to the third city with Wang Mang and see how the geniuses there are." Hearing that, Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction and patted Hua Yunfei's shoulder. The two of them set off together. Seeing that, the surrounding geniuses had different expressions. Some were disdainful, Some heaved a sigh of relief, and some were full of mockery. In response, Wang Meng coldly laughed in his heart. Wait until he reached the extreme state. Then, he would come back and kill all these ants. Soon, Wang Meng and Hua Yunfei set off together. After entering the second city, Wang Meng realized that the second city was much more prosperous than the first city. There were more aboriginals here than in the first city. Also, there was an obvious difference between the aboriginals here and the geniuses in the path of conquering the heavens. For example, the aboriginals obviously had a way to leave the city and didn't need to go through the city gate. All in all, it was much more lively than the first city. After passing through the bustling second city, after observing for a while, he realized that there wasn't much difference between the second city and the first city. The level of the geniuses didn't change either. This made Hua Yunfei heave a sigh of relief and completely relax. He was worried that the geniuses in the later cities would become much stronger and lose their advantage in terms of level. But now, it seemed that he didn't need to worry about this problem at all. The third city wouldn't be much stronger. But when Wang Meng and Hua Yunfei left the second city and arrived at the entrance of the third city, Wang Meng and Hua Yunfei were shocked to realize that there were very few geniuses gathered here. There were only about 300 of them. They were all late-stage god emperors. This caused Wang Meng to furrow his brows. Could it be because of Lei Dong and the ancient emperor? Thinking to this point, Wang Meng and Hua Yunfei looked at each other and then walked towards the third city gate. The 300 geniuses at the entrance didn't provoke Wang Meng and Hua Yunfei after seeing them. But just as Wang Meng and Hua Yunfei entered the third city, the system's voice sounded in Wang Meng's mind, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Mission completed. Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained Immortal King Grade Blind Box X1. Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained Immortal King Grade Treasure Box X1. Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained Free Chance X1. Chapter 838. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Meng was stunned at first. Then he was elated. Of course, he remembered this mission. It was the first stage of the path to myriad worlds. Now that Wang Meng had arrived at the third city, he had completed the mission. Not bad, not bad. Now he had completed one mission. He could evolve again. If he completed the other two missions, he would be able to break through to the extreme realm. Thinking of this, Wang Meng became more high-spirited. Now, he only needed to kill the Nightmare Alliance. After hunting another 300 geniuses and entering the Emperor ranking board, he could evolve again easily. With the addition of the 6 Flavor Emperor pills, he could evolve again. With the addition of the Legend Realm geniuses, he could increase his combat power by another level. This could allow him to turn around beautifully in an instant. He could turn from illusion to reality and reach the extreme realm. At the same time, Hua Yunfei, who was beside him, also noticed the change in Wang Meng's mood. Seeing the smile on Wang Meng's face, Hua Yunfei smiled. What's the matter, Alliance leader? Did you encounter something happy? Hearing this, Wang Meng nodded slightly. He said happily, let's go. Let's take a look at the entrance of the fourth city. At the same time, Wang Meng and Hua Yunfei quickened their pace. Something worth mentioning was, the third city was much bigger than the first and second city. Furthermore, there was an arena in the third city. In addition, there was a spatial teleportation door here. Furthermore, there were many geniuses here. Most of them had the combat power of a late-stage God Emperor. Obviously, it was higher than the first and second city, but not by much. When they passed by the arena, Wang Meng could see some geniuses fighting fiercely. However, Wang Meng and Hua Yunfei did not stop. But when Wang Meng and Hua Yunfei passed by the arena, they saw 2 sky-piercing stone steels. These 2 stone steels were gold and silver respectively. They were so tall that they reached the clouds. Beside the 2 several meters wide gold and silver steels, there was a green round stone pillar. In fact, the number of sky prides surrounding the arena was even more than the number of sky prides in the arena. Furthermore, Wang Meng and Hua Yunfei were able to hear the discussions of the group of geniuses. Amazing! Was this the sovereign leaderboard? I don't know any of them. Are you kidding me? Do you know what those 100 names represent? That's right. The 100 people who managed to leave their names on the sovereign leaderboard represent the 100 strongest paragons in history. Do you know what the 100 strongest invincible supremes are? Since ancient times, every era has given birth to an invincible supreme. Ignorant fellow, you must have just arrived at the third city, right? How many invincible supremes can any invincible supremes on the sovereign leaderboard beat? That's right. An invincible sovereign on the sovereign list isn't someone the invincible sovereigns of previous eras could compare to. He's the strongest fifth stage invincible sovereign in history. Do you think this is a joke? Yes. It is known as the 188th Path of Conquest. Do you know how many eras there are in one session? It was based on 100 eras. 100 eras is one session. That's right. The 188th Path of Conquest is equivalent to 180,000 eras. 180,000 eras means 180,000 invincible supremes were born. But only 100 of them made it onto the sovereign leaderboard. So, calculate your own chances of making it onto the sovereign leaderboard. Wang Meng and Hua Yunfei, who hadn't planned on joining in the fun, suddenly heard the commotion. They stopped in their tracks when they heard the crowd's discussion. Wang Meng's face was filled with shock. Holy shit, 180,000 invincible supremes in 180,000 invincible supremes. In the end, out of 180,000 invincible supremes, only 100 were ranked on the supreme leaderboard? Was this the sovereign leaderboard? It was harder than leaving one's name in the annals of history. However, it was under such difficult circumstances that they were unable to do anything. The sacred emperor continent had given birth to a Jiang Chun. He'd made it onto the sovereign leaderboard and become an invincible sovereign. Truth be told, as Wang Meng learned more about conquering the myriad worlds, he became even more excited. Wang Meng admired the invincible sovereign of the sacred emperor continent even more. 180,000 invincible supremes. This guy had stood out from the crowd and left his name on the sovereign leaderboard. It was easy to imagine how difficult it was. It was unimaginably heaven-defying. It was so awesome that it made a cow stand on its head. In an instant, Wang Meng also joined in. Then, Wang Meng saw that there were indeed 100 names recorded on the golden stele. Of the 100 names, Wang Meng really did find Jiang Chen's name at number 90. There was also a small line of text at the back. Number 90 on the sovereign leaderboard. Jiang Chen origin, sacred emperor continent experience, rose to prominence in the 188th expedition of the myriad heavens and realms. He was unrivaled in his generation. According to incomplete statistics, he killed tens of thousands of geniuses. After that, he became unrivaled in his generation. Refused to accept his ranking on the sovereign leaderboard. He crossed the river of time and fought Jun Luoyue, number 80 on the 155th sovereign leaderboard. He lost miserably and died not long after. Evaluation. An invincible sovereign born in this era, but unwilling to be limited to this era. What the hell? He was truly a battle maniac. He refused to accept his ranking on the sovereign leaderboard and went back to fight other invincible sovereigns? What a ruthless man. Truly incredible. He'd been unrivaled in his generation. He'd made it onto the sovereign leaderboard. But he wasn't satisfied and wanted to defeat other invincible sovereigns on the sovereign leaderboard. But he'd taken too big of a step. He was number 90, but he'd gone to fight the 80th invincible sovereign. In the end, he died. It was a bit of a pity. But Wang Meng soon understood why Jiang Chun had done so. This was because Wang Meng saw that the 50th ranked invincible supremes had the same reaction. Sovereign leaderboard. Zhan Jiutian. Origin. The great god world. Experience. Rose to prominence in the 170th Path of Conquest. Later, he suppressed his generation and became unrivaled in his generation. killed countless geniuses, reached number 99 on the sovereign leaderboard, refused to accept his ranking, and crossed the river of time to challenge number 98 on the sovereign leaderboard. He'd challenged number 96, 95, 93, 92, 99, and number 50. In total, he'd challenged more than 1,000 invincible sovereigns on the sovereign leaderboard. In the end, he'd reached number 50 on the sovereign leaderboard. Evaluation: born humble, but unwilling to be mediocre. He'd fought countless battles in his life and finally suppressed his generation. His perseverance was rare in the ancient world. After seeing Zhang Jiutian, number 50 on the sovereign leaderboard, Wang Mang suspected that Jiang Chun had been provoked. That was why Jiang Chun had crossed the river of time to challenge the invincible sovereigns of the past. Zhang Jiutian was simply too ferocious. He'd fought his way from the bottom to the middle. Wang Mang was also very impressed by this big shot. Wang Mang, on the other hand, thought Jiang Chun was crazy. Zhang Jiutian, on the other hand, had crossed the river of time to defeat the invincible sovereigns on the sovereign leaderboard. Zhang Jiutian had been smart. He'd never been more than 2 places behind Jiang Chun in terms of ranking. But Jiang Chun? He'd crossed 10 places and lost miserably. Naturally, he was no exception. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.